Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Montarctica podcast. We got a couple of the OGs in the house with Shane Carnahan and No Harms, and we got a virgin,
well, hello.
Mark Hebert.
Yo, what up?
Glad to have you finally. You've been
Happy to be here.
Texted quite a few times saying we're gonna get you on, and then we never get around to it. And I'm terrible at it, so I do like a podcast once a month when I should be doing it a couple times a week or more. And
So many things going on in this big city, too.
well,
It's
when you
hard
got
to-
so many damn kids, it's pretty tough, you know. I should turn
I'm
down
glad-
our intro a bit, and we'll
Glad I
Spring is
made it
strong.
here on sex night, so that's good.
sex night.
Sacrificing a lot for you guys tonight, okay?
Just a second here. Let me get this
The whole
damn
night?
thing turned down.
That's impressive.
There we go.
Well, it's sex 5 minutes, but
There you go.
It's a small window.
It's, I was gonna say sex night, or yeah, that's no shit.
Well,
But it's the build up. It's the
yeah, it's a
Sure.
build up to it.
you know it's coming.
The teasing and the... Yeah.
The texting, the teasing,
texting.
the
Tonguing.
I'm just gonna
the-
leave
the
this
remi-
going.
the Shane, where have you been?
Yeah. The
Podcasting.
emoji reminders
Yeah.
throughout the day.
Turned out.
Eggplant,
Eggplant, right?
water splash.
Yeah. Pregnant woman.
Do you
Did you know
think?
there's a pregnant bellied chick one?
I
in
think
there?
if an asteroid hit
didn't.
today and everybody's seen the way that we type with emojis and shit, it'd be almost like hieroglyphics back in the day, but
Absolutely.
only almost a little more rightfully so, you know? I mean,
Wow.
it's pretty obvious, but people would be like, the fuck are they always getting eggplants wet for?
I'm still learning. I'm still learning the emoji lingo.
Just
Well, they'll go
be
through.
original.
Yeah, no
don't,
kidding.
don't,
Like
Use
the
words.
aliens will go through and they're like eggplant wet, eggplant wet.
Wash your
9 months
eggplants.
later, there's a baby emoji. Like, oh,
I get it.
fuck, we got it figured out.
I'm starting to decipher this shit.
you know, once a baby comes, you don't text anymore.
Yeah.
You don't need the emojis.
No
So life
shit.
is over. I'm just joking. That's not nice.
Well, in a way. I mean,
well, that's what
certain parts.
Life just begins.
I
we should have
posted
said.
something today on the Montarctica page about back when you were 20, it took 10 minutes to hang out with 30 friends, and now that you're past 30, it takes 3
two-
months to
2
be able
months to get it
to
fucked together.
organize 3 friends to hang out.
To get half of them to show up.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. So, Mark, for those that don't know you, you work at the paper. You're the
I am the
What do you- what
publisher
do you-
of the Phillips County News in Malta, Montana.
yeah. I was a radio guy back in the day. Used to be his competition. So,
Sure.
I mean, as far as
We got along pretty well, I thought.
ads go, yeah. Well, that's the deal in Malta. You sell ads, or that. I mean, that's the
Sure.
way.
You know what you never hear? You know, you hear the radio gets results. You don't hear newspaper gets
Yeah, no
results.
shit.
You get.
Have you ever heard a newspaper, Shane?
You know, the best thing about radio as opposed
Well-
to newspaper is if you screw something up, it's there for eternity. Radio,
always
if I
there.
say it, it's gone.
Right.
You know,
It's lost in the wind.
I can go back and fix it on the web page, but yeah, once it's on
Yeah.
the printed page, it's there forever.
That's-
Confusing one person with the sheriff and missing that first name.
Were you? No, I think that was before your time when they called Bonnie Weeder Bonnie Toilet.
Bonnie Toilet
Was
Water.
that-
Bonnie told me that story.
Yeah, I remember that. That was.
How does somebody do
I
that?
can never
bad.
see her. It's mean, and I like her, but I can't see her driving down the street without thinking Bonnie Toilet.
Bonnie Toilet. I call her that all the time. She's the one that told me the story.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
It's a matter of cutting and pasting.
Did they not proofread or?
You see, here's the problem. You proofread it, and
Oh,
then
you-
you're still making changes
I'm
as
sure
you go,
you-
and
But
right
it's-
up to the last second.
I do that with just any of my regular writing.
Just a
Sure.
big.
Like even if I'm just
Yeah,
making
it's a big one.
or it's even a long text or a big email or something, you know, you'll get through it and you read it a couple times, you're like, oh, that's good, and then you hit send and you go, shit.
But that's one of them
think I'm
deals
right.
too.
That wasn't a question mark. That was
Right.
you know, or,
Yeah.
You got to read 40,000 words in X amount of hours to get it sent out to get printed off. You're bound to miss something.
Sure, yeah, 20,000 words every
Don't they have
every
an
time around.
app for that or
They
something
do,
nowadays?
and I use like 7 of them. And
Still misses some,
Still,
huh?
you get the paper back from.
Maybe it
from
was
the
one of
printer,
those
you're like,
things
"Oh."
where it auto-corrected and thought toilet water was better.
It just,
I think
just
what
fit
it
in there
was-
better.
I think it was.
Like, you know, when you're typing and it's like puts in, you're like, no, I'm not trying to fucking say that.
I'm not trying to say duck.
I'm trying to
right.
say what I'm saying.
I've never called somebody a ducker.
I
ever
know.
in my life.
Yeah.
I've never called anybody a toilet water in my life
Shit.
either.
It's true. It's
I
Knight's
can't
young.
believe it.
What's the worst one that your autocorrect ever fucks up? Mine's got one that's nonstop. That when I go to text get GET, and it turns it to eat. So I mean, it'll be like, do you want to get out? Eat out. You want like it's bad a few times. I went, you son of a bitch phone.
I guess I don't know. I never really pay attention.
Me either. I just get
Probably the way
mad
it
when
should
it
be.
happens. And
My most of the
Not
stuff
pay
mine
attention.
goes right too is just like one syllable words. So it's probably not gonna fuck it up anyways.
Yeah.
I like it. I
To
gotta,
he, to he,
To he,
the Shane, the.
I do got to do the clap thing like syllable. Oh, too long. I made it to 3.
Sound it out. For surprisingly, you do spell okay. I've never got too many text messages from you that are screwed up.
Athlete.
What to me is funny is when you see somebody post because it goes through, like, especially if you're on your phone and you post to Facebook and it's got all kinds of spelling errors.
Sure.
First, it goes through the spell check on your phone and also the one on Facebook, and you're like, you must have that programmed into your phone wrong multiple times to talk like that. There's certain people you just go,
And how do you keep your
your
cap
phone
locks
would
on
not
your
let you
phone?
say that many times. Yeah.
If it's during the workday, most of the time I just talk to my phone and let it type it out. 'Cause, I mean, my hands are full. I'm busy. I'm doing shit, but I can put my phone by me, talk to it. But sometimes I'll talk to it and it just all alien. Whatever I said is not even remotely close. Like, Mandel text me, "What do you want for dinner?" "Oh, I don't know. Pizza's fine." Fuck. Next thing you'll say, "I don't know. We can go to Mexico or whatever." Like, shit's not even in there.
not even close.
Yeah, it's just. But then most of the time it does pretty good though.
If you didn't speak drunk speak.
In the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Friday.
Mark, do you ever do any other writing other than the paper? You ever write anything for yourself? No.
I try not to read or write anything when I'm not at work.
I suppose
Yeah.
it's probably
That's how I make
exhausting.
my
huh?
living. So yeah.
Yeah. I'd be curious. I like you'd ever. You're a
mean,
good
I-
writer,
I-
I mean,
I
obviously,
try.
you don't get to be the
I wouldn't say
damn
that,
chief of
but
the
I
paper
usually
without
just-
being a good writer. But it'd be cool to see if you ever tried something on your own.
I'll let you know.
That's kind of how this thing came about. Was us just Noah and
figured-
I in here, and
I figured out how you become a good writer. You just got to be a good bullshitter.
That
Right.
helps.
Got to be able to talk.
And it
Yeah.
depends.
Right.
You got to know your audience. That's a
Yeah.
big.
What?
You know.
here, that's one of the big things about living in this small town here is the difference of how your audience or what your audience would be here, especially for big social issues, as opposed to worldwide of what it
Sure,
would be,
we're a big city.
on
But
here.
I'm walking through Albertsons, and I'm not necessarily going to say something about. I'm held accountable because these people are in my community. And I'm
Ducking
their
through,
community.
going,
Yeah,
"Shit."
exactly.
Do you remember when they used to do do you guys don't do it anymore, the on the streets thing?
Yeah, it's hard to get people to do that. That's why we
Yeah,
stopped
like
doing it.
like people used to love to do it. Like people like kids especially.
Yeah.
They used
Kids
to
are-
walk by.
I remember.
They used to walk by the news office on Front Street like, "Hope they come out. Hope
kidding.
they come out." And
That was
like,
just you, Shane.
question me.
He's
No.
wanted. You.
No,
I was
remember
there the first day that
being
he
on
ever
it
got
a
to
couple
sign an
times.
autograph. You should have seen the glee on Shane's face. He's been waiting his whole goddamn life for somebody to ask him to sign an autograph.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, with all
Come
your
on,
your
before you
music
leave.
career, you haven't got to sign one yet.
No. Oh, wait, no, I did. Some drunk dude in Wolf Point when I went to the brewery. He bought one of Nate's CDs and then asked me to sign it. I almost felt kind of like, really?
Oh, you signed right on Nate's CD.
Well, yeah, he bought Nate's CD. You know, he liked
Then
Nate.
wanted-
And then he's like, hey, could you sign this? I was like,
Okay.
okay, sure.
That's funny.
I know.
Where did I sign my first autograph?
I'm trying to think of where we were. What we.
Where the fuck am I signing autographs?
No, I know. Yeah, there's been a few times. Well,
yeah.
you have at your freestyle show. I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying. It was before that. I'm trying to think of where the hell we were.
Billings or
No, it might have been on that West Yellowstone
West
trip, maybe, or
Yellowstone
something.
or-
But it was a legit a kid asking you for an autograph, and I remember Shane like,
what's up,
been
lady? His
waiting to
mom
sign
was
auto-
standing behind him and
he
shit.
he carried a Sharpie with him for 15 years before he got to sign his first fucking autograph.
It's all dried out, and he got to use it.
Fucking chalked
This
up.
is true stories. I'm not even fucking bullshitting.
Shit, my marker.
yeah.
One time.
People are wondering that don't know us that listen to this podcast, like, what's this Shane do that he's signing autographs? Absolutely nothing.
Being a badass.
Just
Yeah, pretty
Well,
much
you saw-
badass.
We're all pretty good.
You signed that picture that's at the Mint. Thanks for the medal.
I did. Thanks for the
We
medal.
got one of our freestyle ramps that we built. The Mint Bar sponsored us back when it was Brent and Scott, and they paid for our expanded metal across top of it, which was pretty expensive. It was like $300 or more. And there's been a picture in there of Shane hanging forever. He's doing a trick on his dirt bike. It says, "Thanks for the medal, Shane Carnahan."
And they got his name right
Oh.
when they got him doing the trick, because I've been known to not get
No,
his
no,
name
no,
right.
yeah.
in
Yeah,
the
I signed it.
I know you gave me the glory on that one.
I've
That
got
was
it.
nice.
Jeez,
But I
Travis,
wasn't-
you gained
that
some
day
weight.
That day that you were out there, I wasn't quite feeling it. I remember that too. That it's weird. I don't know.
Well, it was windy. It got windy.
And
I
you're wearing
heard.
helmets.
Well, and in the wind,
And I'm
He
not paying
sails a lot
attention.
better than I do because he's heavier. So like he just kind of a cannonball shot through the air. When I get it, I'm like a fucking kite.
And then it whips you sideways.
Yeah.
I've got a saying in the mint with my signature on it.
A
What is it
saying?
saying?
Yeah, Peanut caught me one night telling a story, and she's like, "That's got to go up on the mirror."
Oh yeah.
Travis got a saying in the Mint Bar bathroom.
Yeah,
I
it says
see.
Travis Rhoads fucked a man. Right on the condom machine. But there's all
on.
kinds of random
But the
shit.
best,
so
the best part
Did you?
about it,
the
whoever.
best part is that it's his handwriting.
No, that is not my handwriting. That's way too fucking nice to be my handwriting. But whoever did
I would
it,
erase it,
your
but I'm
time.
not tall enough to fucking
whoever
reach
did it, put it high enough that he can't reach it.
Definitely wasn't me.
Fucking truth too.
Well, I remember being in a bar in Billings like 20 years ago. And probably the best graffiti I've ever seen in a bathroom style. It just said Larry Stills Plywood. And I was like, that is a statement right there.
Of course he does. We call him Larry.
Still
So
asshole, right.
we were probably
Different
building
Larry.
ramps.
Sure.
No. I like the don't look up here. The joke's in your hand. Or when you go to it, it's funny when you go. There's one like you'd go to a different town and you see somebody else's name from here or something. you
Oh,
know, and
yeah.
you're like,
Interesting.
oh.
Like, I did not know that.
But it's always.
I like it when you go to a different town and you see, like in a convenience store alongside the highway, and it says bad checklist, and the first person up there is somebody you know. Like, great.
You know those, and you drive by going, God, don't be mine. That's not. No. I've always thought that's pretty ruthless. You know, I mean, I get getting your money, and especially if it's like a lot.
Sure.
I suppose for gas or something that probably
Yeah.
is, but God damn, that's like when it's on one of the one in Billings used to have a Main Street one that would fucking post it all the time, and
Really?
I'm
Who
like,
the fuck writes checks anymore?
well, this is back in
I know.
2004,
Sure.
but you know,
I just stood behind somebody at the grocery store today while
Oh,
they
it's unbearable.
scratched out a check. I'm like, you got a Visa card? Yeah.
Or could you start writing that check before you get up here?
And why don't you use that? Well, I can keep everything balanced. I'm like, you can run your Visa card and then check your account, and it'll tell you what it is.
Right.
10
that's
seconds after.
so
Or you can still balance your account as soon as you use your card if you're that nutty about it.
that's
Yeah.
so annoying when you're in a hurry at the grocery store and you just went in to get your energy drink and you got to run, or I'm like hurrying up to get to the Mint on time, and then some
How long has it been?
little old lady starts scribbling, or they'll sign it and then they hand it over to the cashier to get it done.
Right.
How long has it been
dang
since
it.
Albertsons in town here has been called Buttrie's? 25 years? Little old
At
lady.
least, yeah.
And bless her heart, she's standing in front of me. She scratches out this check, and it's taken her about 12 minutes. And she goes, "Oh, Albertsons." And the lady goes, "Well, you can just scratch that out because she wrote Buttrie's." And the lady's like, "You can just scratch that out, right?" No, no, no. She tears it out. And then she starts all over again. I'm like, well, my ice cream's melting.
Most of those little old ladies got perfect handwriting too. I mean, you see, like if
Open
they're
the
ones that aren't
second
shaky
pill.
yet, but
But that's
Yeah.
all right, you know.
so
Butt trees, yeah. My Aunt Tree still calls it butt trees, and she lives in fucking
I still slip.
Spearfish, South Dakota.
I still slip sometimes. Like, you want to go to Buttrie's and get some for dinner? And
Little
wife-
Lots is one for me. in
Wife's
town.
like, what
I
the
still
fuck
call
is
it
Butt-"
little odds.
I still call it honkers
Yeah.
or greens.
Did you didn't live here when it was called Honkers either?
It took us
used to be a-
about-
Albertsons was called?
no, Little Lots
Little
or
Lots.
Oh,
It took
okay,
us
so
about a
Horizon
year
Resources.
to get over calling it honkers because they bought it when we were in school still
yeah.
and named it Little Lots. Then we got used to calling it Little Lots or Little
Well,
Twats.
it's
That's all I've noted
it
is
used to have a
You guys
permanent
remember Little
sign
Tots?
on the outside that said "Eat here and get gas."
Nice.
I know.
It's an eat here, get gas.
Yeah.
That's fucking rad.
So
and there was a Taco John's in the back of it too,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it worked out great.
There was.
What
for a while.
what year did you get here, Mark?
I think it's about 5 years ago this week.
It's been that short, huh?
Yeah.
It hadn't been too long, but
Has it felt like forever?
No, it really hasn't.
No?
It's a lovely place to live.
do you like it or not? Yeah, I mean,
I really do.
compared to- Yeah.
But
I love
this
Malta.
Last winter kind of kicked my ass.
Oh, it was wild.
It's
Especially if you don't have a big 4-wheel drive pickup or something too. That's
Sure.
a pain in the
And
ass.
Right.
it wasn't even that. We had more snow last year than we did this year.
Yeah.
It's just we had way more cold.
Yeah.
And it's
cold.
consecutive cold.
But yeah, this year I went skateboarding in January.
That's
But-
right.
Yeah, and then it got.
But then it
Oh,
got
shit,
just
it's
cold.
fan.
I bet
bitter
we
cold
averaged
for
12 below for
But like-
damn near a month.
Like 4 years ago.
No warmer.
in
No,
February-
it was cold as fuck. Yeah.
Okay, February was all below zero. 4 years ago in February, we were fucking riding dirt bikes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Well, a lot of times I always say that it's usually like state
That was the year we
state
got
wrestling.
all that fucking rain, where it just rained
Yep.
forever.
I think that's what's coming for us. We're gonna.
It might be. Who knows?
Pissed off
It's
for a
been
while.
dry though,
We
man.
need it.
Like
If
We
it's
do.
if it's got anything to do, they always say like 90 days after fog we're supposed to get rain. June is supposed to be
wet as shit.
Yeah.
You
Hammered.
might be happy you didn't pull that damn trigger on the
And I was
Right.
thinking that too.
Because we got, I remember the
been-
first couple years, we got drilled with,
It's been like every 4 or 5 years we end up with rainstorms
Super
during the car show weekend.
Yeah.
I took, well, that year that I bought my dirt bike was 2010 or 11, I think, when, maybe even later, when I got that, when we went down to Billings and got it.
Well, 13.
It started
2013.
raining that weekend in May down there, and it just did not stop through like the first. It was like 3 weeks straight of just. I didn't
What
even
year
get to
was
ride
this?
my brand new dirt bike. It was like 2013, I think, ish.
I was gonna say, the year I graduated, I left Malta to go to the football all-star game in Billings.
Mm-hmm.
And when I left Malta, it was raining, and then we did the whole week. Then that very next morning, we jumped on a plane and went to Mexico for another week. And when we got back, it was still raining.
Yeah, it just.
Like I asked Kelsey when I got in, I was like, "Has it been raining?" She said it didn't stop the whole
Yeah,
time.
I bought that dirt bike and I didn't get to ride it for a month. It sat in a brand new dirt bike and I didn't even get like, it was just soup everywhere. It was terrible.
So this will be my
need
fifth
to
car
come
show, and it has never rained since
Really?
I've been at the car show. So
Well, there you go.
get your galoshes on.
No shit.
It's coming.
Yeah, it is. It is coming. And like I said, I'm taking a break from doing the dirt bike show this year. I just
Right.
got too much shit going on. It's maybe we can make something work out later the fall or something, but it's not going to be a car show weekend. But get the riders together. We still pull some people
Sure.
in town and shit. But
Oh yeah.
I think you'll bring them down no matter what. As we
yeah,
did.
oh yeah,
Like you and I were talking, maybe make a shindig out of it or something. That,
yeah, like a concert.
whole nother day.
Concert dirt bike thing.
Yeah, that's-
street dance. Something.
I've always
I
kind of
don't
had like this little chip on my shoulder that I want to do my events on different days than
Everything
riding on
else.
something else, kind of just to see.
As a news
I've only
reporter,
done-
That would be
I would
sweet.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't
I,
have to cover 13 things in the same day.
Put on like a little music.
I bet that's
festival
great.
ride.
You guys
Wild
got
day.
3,
That'd be
4 people that who covers out
One
just
person,
you
maybe?
and
Yeah.
sometimes you get Pierre out wandering around taking pictures of things or whatever. But yeah,
But it's nice to have things to do. The paper that I worked at before, I mean, there'd be stretches that you really, all you're writing is features because there's nothing going on.
Where'd you work at before?
Superior and Missoula before I got here. Thank you, Shane.
were you born in Missoula or where'd you?
I was born in Butte. No, where was I born? Missoula,
The
Montana,
zoo.
1972, and then never lived in Montana until 1996.
You got 10 years on me.
Holy.
Exactly.
Well, you guys are old as fuck.
I'm an 80,
Yeah,
I'm an 82
losers.
model, just like my pickup.
I was born in '92.
92.
Jeez,
I was supposed to graduate high school in 1990, so there you go.
1990. That was good times
My
then.
dad graduated in '91.
Your dad's born on the same
92.
day as me.
What? Really?
Yeah.
For real?
Are you leap year?
February 29th,
leap year?
1972, yeah.
Wow.
No shit.
Mark, I didn't
You're a
know I
leap
was
year
born
guy.
the same day
So
you
you're
were.
technically you're not 10 years older than me. You're like
Can never be drafted.
17
No,
years
you're only
younger
11
than
or
me.
I
Yeah.
can't do the
something,
math,
aren't
but
you?
yeah, I'm not even,
11,
not even know about the
12?
draft.
That's
When
funny.
you were born, I would have been 92.
It's like the opposite of dog years.
Exactly.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I don't
What
feel
do-
like I'm 15.
Do you ever? I mean, do you? When you were
get to a
having
certain
birthdays?
age, I'm older now, 3.
Well,
that you
yeah.
Stop selling. I could care less.
I prefer not to, but I got a family, so they,
Right.
usually make it a deal. And I'm such an anti-holidays Scrooge son of a bitch. Anyway, I don't know why. I think maybe because most of the time I just don't feel like I need to go spend a whole bunch of extra money for no reason type of thing. Like I already had. I mean, we got almost everything we want.
Sure.
Why go spend
It's just
$1,000 each year
Because
on
just
whatever?
it's-
And
Let's go buy $1,000 worth of food.
The
yep.
way it is.
Call it a day.
I mean, if you want to get technical about it, you should just go to church and, do the religious part about it. It's just a way for you to spend money anymore.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean,
Right.
it used to be one of them deals where, you got your kid a gift or something and gifted one gift. Now it's a big dick competition to see, are you going to outdo your neighbor or their
Try
kids
having
and
kids
this
that are
and
split with another family. I mean, like
right.
my
Oh, yeah,
my two
yeah.
kids are.
Yeah.
So I mean, you don't want to be the guy that, oh, man, it sucked going to Dad's house this year.
Dude,
That ain't.
I grew up with 5 brothers and sisters, and I've got 3 little girls. Even when I just had 2 of them, like the spread around our tree, I just look at it and be like, "This is fucking ridiculous."
Well, and as you're buying stuff,
What
you're
the
trying to
hell
count
is
for.
going on?
You're trying to like when you got 3 kids, you're going like, all right, I got 4 for him, 3 for her. We need to get her one. We need to get this. And then by the time you get done, like you said, you look under the tree and you go, God damn.
Well, then, like, I get asked the question every year, like, how much do you think is enough?
Yeah,
and
every time.
and I say this much, and then we hit that, and then I'm guilty of it
Or
too.
you see
I'll
something,
see
you're
something
like,
and be like,
"Oh."
oh, we
It's
better
sad.
throw that in
It's
there.
sad when
that.
you're doing this. Oh, babe, let's go to the bank and get the Christmas script loan. You got to take fucking, each of you take
Money
grand
out of the bank just to get-
$2,000 to buy fucking Christmas presents.
It's a lot of money.
I know, like I was saying, I remember growing up, like I'd get, if I got 2 cool gifts, you know, I was.
Dude, I got a fucking.
If I got anything more, I was like, holy
My
shit.
parents were pretty good to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
my
me
parents.
too,
I
like-
mean, my parents were pretty good too.
I was
but
spoiled. I had my
I mean,
grandma's house to go to.
I got a
and-
$60 Huffy, and that was fucking dope.
All right.
And now the
you
kids
want
are
to talk
like,
about the sweetest
now-
Huffy I ever
Now
got
the
for
kids
Christmas?
are like, I need a $1,200 iPad. You're 5.
Yeah.
You
You're
better get it
5.
Well, no, now the kids are like, they get the gift that, you know, they said, this is what I want. And then 5 minutes go by and they're done with it.
I gotta
Because
look up-
they got 12 other ones
Sure.
they need to go get figured out.
And grandma got him something, and grandpa.
Right?
Sure.
Like the fucking Alexas, I had my foot down on that. I was like, we're not getting a fucking Alexa ever. Like, no. Christmas rolls around, we end up with 2 of them.
Right.
It's like, God damn it. Couldn't get rid of them. You know, they're Christmas
And now you love
presents.
Alexa, don't you?
No, I still hate her. I'm always asking her, like, do you work for the government? She's like, we're based in Seattle, Washington. I'm like, no shit, I know that. Like, Alexa, off. And immediately one of my daughters, Alexa, turn on. I'm like,
Oh, we got
unplug it.
we got
My
Hey
internet's-
we got Hey
My
Google.
internet's slow. I'm like,
Hey
unplug the
Google.
goddamn
Well, I got
Alexa.
one of the little Google ones that came
Right.
for free when I bought something on Amazon.
really?
Well, dude, did you
Is
know
there-
those things? Like, I called one night because my internet was so bad. And I was like, what is going on? Ever since I've had internet with you guys, it fucking sucks.
Huh.
And they're like, well, you've got 6 different things hooked up to it. Your package only
16
covers
connected
3
devices.
things streaming at once. I'm like, really? What? I know I got 2 phones and I got my living room TV. She said,
What if you got
you
your
got
Xbox
2
hooked
Alexas.
up
I was like, they're off. She said Alexas constantly use your internet and
Oh, yeah.
are like recording
Sure.
shit no matter what,
They-
even if
They
they're
have to
not
because
on.
how would it work if you went, Hey Alexa? It can't just.
I know.
Pop on then.
I was
But-
pissed. I was
So-
like, fuck,
I
knew
don't
it.
call mine Alexa.
I
I
knew
refuse
it.
to. I call it Echo because it sounds way cooler.
Oh yeah.
I got her
What?
trained to call me daddy, though.
Nice, really?
Yeah.
I
Nice.
don't know
I
why
should
you
make
can't
mine say
change the
something
voice to
cool.
like Morgan Freeman or
I'm
something.
like,
You can change your
Alexa, yes,
Siri.
daddy. So
You
I
can
got,
on
I got
Siri,
Siri. I got
right.
like the Australian girl
I
or
got that
something
going
on mine.
for me, which is nice.
Back to Shane's. Speaking of getting a Huffy one time, I got one of the coolest fucking Huffies for Christmas, and it was icy as shit out, and I still went out and rode it. It was I don't know how old I was. I had to be 8 or 9. It was one of those Huffies with the radio
I
between
had
the
one too.
handlebars.
I had fucking, yeah.
I would turn on KMMR and I was jamming, man.
we
I
both
ride
had
down
'em.
the street.
Yes.
Shane just spooged at my arm.
My coolest bike, when West Coast choppers got really big, Orange County choppers,
Oh yeah.
they started making those bikes. Like, I was the
Them-
first kid in town to get one. Like, my parents cut a deal with me. They're like, if you mow enough lawns, like, we'll pay for half of it.
Nice.
Fuck, I remember rolling down the street in that fucking lowrider.
Chopper
Like,
down.
I rode one of them one time. They're fucking exhausting. 'cause
Oh
you're-
man,
you're
the chain
pushing
is
out.
so big,
You're
but
pushing
like,
out. And
no
it's
one
weird.
could
It's-
beat me in a race. Like, I had
'Cause it had-
3.5 feet of chain going. Like, once I got going, no one could beat me. I remember Dane Stiles one day was damn near crying because he had this mountain bike that was like stuck in 7th gear. So like when he got it going, like I could beat him every time. He'd get so fucking mad.
My
Dane.
brother and I used to race around the block from my mom's house. We'd start right in the lawn and take off, and we'd race. And for years, he kicked my ass. And I remember the one time I'm finally ahead of him, and I come flying into the yard, and I get the fucking speed wobble so bad I go right into a tree, wham!
Dude.
And I'm fucking out there just crying, yelling. I think my parents might have been gone. This was
Radio
probably
dial
one of
ripped off the bike. Static come on.
those- My neighbor comes out thinking I'm dead. Like she calls my mom. I remember like it was bad. It was real bad. But I fucking won.
There you go.
The Huffy's put in work.
I was gonna say, like, as long as you win. I remember Chad Sabalski. He had this little tiny, like, almost a moped for kids, but we souped that thing up. First day we had it, though, we busted the throttle cables.
Like a little tote goat.
Yeah, so you had to like grab onto it
I remember
down
that
here
bike,
and pull
yeah.
it. You remember that thing?
Yeah.
Well, we got that in the little 4-wheeler going, and me and Jared Williamson are just fucking like all out right next to the high school. And he kept pulling in front of me. Like every time I go to pass him on that little bike, and I was like, God damn it, you can't do that. And he got the speed wobbles, like you're saying, right into that curb. He flew up into those trees right below Nick's house, you know the ones I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just boom! Into the tree. I beat him, like you're saying. I was
Yeah,
like,
still
fuck
won.
you, that's what happens when you cheat, son of a bitch.
My one of my neighbor kids, we'd always go in the middle of the street and ride wheelies, and I remember one time he goes to pull up on a wheelie and his handlebars come off. He ate shit so goddamn hard, face plant. I mean, scraped up his
Those are the
face, everything.
worst.
It was.
Worst.
That was one of those when you're riding next to him that you just
We're sitting here talking about
I'm
our
gonna go
rad
home,
bikes.
watch TV.
We're sitting.
No.
we're sitting here talking about our rad bikes, and Mark's like, mine had a fucking banana seat.
Banana seats were cool.
My Huffy did start with banana.
Banana
seat.
seats
I
were
can't
cool.
front.
Yeah, you
Yours
want to
was-
speak of the original.
Yours was probably a Schwinn, though.
No, it was a Huffy.
geez.
Huffy
really?
Free Spirit. as a
the
matter of fact.
original chopper bars. That was one of those. The chopper
The
bars with
way
banana
up there,
seat.
where you could fit a fucking
Those cool, like the 70s.
big old
solid-
bra
solid
right
fat
up in your
girl in
fucking
there.
right up in your
It had
goddamn
style, but you wanted it to
handlebars.
look like your friend. So eventually, this bike transforms over the next 6
Yeah.
years to where it really looks like a piece.
We
of
used to have one that we put a scooter. You remember the first kick scooters with the bigger mag wheels on
Sure.
them? We put one of those on the front tire of a bicycle, so it was really low in the front. You could really wheelie it nice and easy, but
We did that. Gabe and I did that. I think you were involved with that.
might have been.
Just tiny little.
So at some point, though, the transition happens where people stop riding bikes and start riding skateboards. Skateboards
think?
a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
That,
Looks a little cooler than the Huffy.
that
Free
did happen, yeah. So, like, when I was growing up, pedaling around on my Huffy, my brother Justin and all of his buddies were all into skateboarding,
Here in Malta?
Gleaming the Cube came out.
Oh, that was a great movie.
You know, with
Sure.
Tony Hawk and I think Caballero was in it. And anyways, Christian Slater, yeah. Anyways, they were all into skateboarding, and so I was always. I mean, the streets were better than they are now.
Okay, that's what I was
And they could get
wondering.
around. There was really no place to skateboard.
Sure.
They just skate around, do like ground tricks and grind like the curb and shit. So I really got into watching them, and my brother Chris got into watching them too. So we started skateboarding. As when Justin was gone, we'd take his skateboard and skateboard
Sure.
around at the street. And then one of Justin's buddies, Corey, his dad was a contractor, and built a full fucking 12-foot half pipe in his backyard in town here. And that it eventually ended up getting tore down. They used all the wood and built a garage out
Did it
of
get
it.
skated a lot? A lot of people skated.
There was like 4 guys who would actually
Okay.
skate it. I remember distinctly as a kid climbing up that fucking thing, like 10 years old, looking down. I'm like, oh my God,
Right.
you will die.
Oh fuck! I mean,
Yeah.
just go down to the skate park here and go
Yeah.
into the big bowl and look down. I haven't even dropped in on that yet. Like I'm same as you're saying. I'm like, no, fuck, I'll die. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No.
tried once at the skate park and I fell and that was it. And I'd
That's-
stay on the street.
that's-
There's
I
nowhere
did-
else to skate really.
Like I always enjoyed skateboarding. I was a big help wanting to get this skate park
Sure.
together and stuff. But I went out there and I skating for a little bit, and then I wadded and tore some muscles in my leg, and I just fuck it. You know what? That's the kids. That's for the kids. I'd love to go out and do it, but
What about a longboard?
I got
it's
really
not-
into
Longboarding's
it.
awesome.
it's not that
fun.
I got scared. It's the
Good
fact that I gotta
get hurt,
I gotta
you're
get up
fucked.
Monday morning and go to
Right.
fucking work.
Yeah,
I know.
but you get to sit on your butt and drive a
I
blade
got the
anyway,
same
you'll be
thing.
all right.
But
Like,
if I can't walk and climb up the fucking thing, I
Right.
can't work.
Sure.
I watched Caleb for about 10 minutes because when I heard we were getting a skate park, my first thought was like, what? Get us a bowling alley. Like, come on, something. I want to go do it.
Putt golf.
And then,
You wouldn't believe how much
But-
crap we got about.
Oh,
it
man.
should have been a regular swimming pool. We're like, the money wasn't for that.
Like I was
it
just
was
saying,
skate park or
I
I
bust.
That's
watched
a
Caleb
cool
for
idea.
10 minutes and was like, let me fucking try
Yeah.
it. And then I got into it. Fuck, I bought
you
a
picked it up
board,
fast.
Like for
I
real.
started having a lot of fun, but like I said, in Lewistown when I wrecked, I hit my head so hard. I had one of the pro skaters
Did
ride
you
up
not
to
wear
me.
a helmet?
I thought he was going to be dead.
I had one, but
Oh,
I just
yeah.
I
Didn't
was,
have it on. It was
I
his
was
birthday.
ripping all day,
Right.
like hadn't wrecked once, and then I tried to do this like transition over, and
It was a cool
just
jump, and we were
bad.
both hitting it pretty, and he was drilling it pretty
Oh,
well. And
man.
I'm watching him from the top, and I see him go up, and I can tell when he's going down. You can't see him beyond where he lands, but
Right.
you can tell it's
like right as I
oh, he
crested
slapped
the
his
top,
head. I knew
I
it.
flipped backwards and was like,
I rode over
"Shit."
there just to make sure he was okay, and
But one of them pros
What's
rode
kind of a
up,
life
and he's like,
adjuster? The
that
next
was
2
the
days,
best
you're like,
wreck of the
wow,
day.
I'm alive.
that,
Oh, I
it
still
was
got a
nasty.
little dent in my head, like where it
Yeah.
happened. Oh yeah,
I did
I
that.
haven't skated
With
much
the helmet
since
on, you
then.
got a dent in your head.
No, I wasn't
didn't.
wearing it.
He-
I,
that part.
Brought the helmet and
He
didn't
brought
wear
it,
it.
but didn't wear it.
Right.
Well, I'd been wearing it earlier, and I had all my other pads on, but I was just feeling good. It was kind of towards the evening,
Sure.
so I just took it off and then hit the jump and had that I'd been doing all day, like Travis said, and then whack,
I
hit it so hard.
went skating in January, and I'm taking the kids up there, and it was funny because I was wanting to go skating just to blow off some steam
Sure.
anyway. I was kind of having a Sunday where like everybody was driving me nuts, you know. I'm like, I'm gonna go skate for a couple minutes. Pretty soon the whole family wants to go.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, well, then I'm kind of pissed off driving up there, and I'm like,
Fine.
all right, everybody, make sure you look out for the shady spots because there could be frost in there, and blah blah blah. I'm really telling them, you know. Everybody goes over in the little bowl, and they're going back and forth. I get all my gear on and shit, and I go to drop it or right in. I come around the very first fucking corner. Wham! Just slams me right to my head. I hit one of the shady spots.
Yep.
It just, I went straight from my feet to my head. It would just
Yeah.
grease the shit out of me. And I'm like, oh.
Oh man.
So we're at the council meeting, that first council meeting when you and I don't know, I think Shane was
Shane,
there, too.
yeah.
You guys are pitching it to the council, and they actually bid on it, which was surprising. But
Yeah.
at some point you say, you know, if nothing else, we're going to bring some business to the hospital.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it was 6 months later and 8 months later, whenever it's all finished, and the first person to go to the hospital was you.
Yeah.
I know.
Shit.
I know.
That was
Broke my
ironic.
damn wrist.
Do you remember the first time I
But
slammed?
I don't give a shit. I went hard and now I've got it.
There you
now
go.
I can
Now
like,
you know what you're doing.
now I can shred. It's
Sure.
fun.
Do you remember in 2006 the first time I ever slammed into a skate park? I didn't even have a fucking skateboard.
We weren't even skateboarding. We're walking from one bar in Kalispell across to the next one, like across town in Kalispell. And we're do. Shane's like, I'm gonna jump over this fence. We'll just cut across here to the motel. Shane jumps and like it was like on Goofy where you go, oh! He just falls all the way from the top of this fence to into the deep end of the bowl of this thing in Kalispell. It just
The skate park, I don't think it was done. Like this wasn't even like a permanent structured fence. It was like right up next. They still need to build the
You just
build the
jump on it.
sidewalk
It's
around.
so funny.
Like I knew there was
Oh,
a park
man.
there, and it was like behind our motel. And we're gonna go to the motel and then go to the next bar. And I'm like, fuck, let's just cut through this park. And he's like, oh yeah, all right. And yeah, I fucking climbed this fence, this chain link fence, and the bowl is fucking
like
nine
straight out of a against the
nine
thing,
feet,
dude.
9 feet deep, and this fence is 6.5 feet tall, and I just bail thinking I'm going to grass. No,
It's
I just
dark
kept
out, and
falling. Fuck, I hit so hard. That was brutal.
Shane, where are you?
No shit. That's so
And of course, I'm drunk and laughing at his ass. So
Did you hurt yourself?
No, not really. I'm fortunate that I was
we were 20,
I was-
21-ish.
21.
And pretty loosey
22.
goosey.
22 maybe, yeah.
so young, pliable still.
Right.
Yeah, no
Bounced
shit.
back.
Yeah, there's no bouncing back from that today, probably.
That was the night we ended up. No, was that the night we ended up in Whitefish?
No, not the same night.
No, there's
that
a-
night we spent most of the night walking between bars.
It
What
was.
were you guys doing in Kalispell?
We used to work up there for a landscaping crew.
That's one thing I
Kalispell?
hate
Yeah.
about going downtown in bigger places. Like, I haven't been downtown very many places other than like Billings and Rapid City, but I feel like I spent more fucking time walking in between bars and then
Well-
getting into the bar and waiting an hour just to get a drink, and then you're like, "Fuck this
Yeah.
place."
And
Let's
that's-
just
And
go to the
everybody
next
wants
one.
to leave as soon as you
That's
get
the
your
thing.
drink.
See, we weren't even downtown.
God, I
we were like
hated it.
on the side, outskirts of town. So we were bouncing from like these bars that were distances away. But
They literally were probably two of the farthest bars away from each other in Kalispell where we wanted to go.
Right.
Our boss at the time liked to go drink Rainier at some other little bar that, I don't know. We went down there and Shane and I had a couple drinks and we were like, fuck it, we're going back to
we went and hustled
Fat
the
Boys.
fucking pool tables
Yeah.
for an hour and a half, and nobody wanted to play pool with us. So that's when we decided to go across town. And
And jump 15 feet to your death.
yeah, that was
Shit, that's
horrible.
awesome.
This was before Uber and such like that, you know.
And would there, I mean, I guess there's probably Uber, and there's no Uber here.
Oh, I imagine
imagine
there's
Kalispell's
Uber
got
has.
it.
I wonder if
Cal-
somebody got an Uber driver if they
bet.
kick ass in
If they
Malta.
would do anything.
I bet. I was just gonna say, if you did,
I doubt
if
it.
you charge less than
Everybody drives drunk around here.
I
Nobody
guess
gets
nobody
ride
gives
home.
a fuck. It's so funny. Like you can leave the bar at 2, and the cops, you can see them like parked, and everyone's driving off. You're like, I wonder, like,
I mean, you
are
can.
they waiting for a certain person or?
Well, they know that it's
How does that
25
work?
miles an hour, I think,
if,
is part of
if
it.
you
And you're
you
hoping
got to
not
give
going
them a
very
reason to
fast.
pull
Right.
you over, though.
I know.
Yeah.
They just can't. Sit
I'm
out
just
there.
saying, like, you know that they know. Like, you just came out of the bar and Malt. There's no way you were in there fucking playing darts or not drinking something.
You know that I
like,
know that you know that I know.
You know
Right.
that I know that you know that I'm not as dumb that you thought that I once was.
They're pretty good, though, about, like, coming by and checking, like, as I'm leaving the bar and shit,
Right.
you know, and just
See
going,
if
hey,
somebody
everything
shows
all
up.
right?
Oh yeah, I
you
don't.
know?
I'm not bad mouthing. Like they've been super cool
No,
to me
that's-
my entire
The
life.
fucking Whitefish cop was pretty good about when he pulled us over in that Camaro.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
It's so funny, like
It-
when a new guy gets to town. Like I remember one thing specifically, like Jordan Olson, love him to death, one of my best friends. Him and Kevin Math get to like wrestling outside the bar. It was after this reception, closed the bar down, and then they kicked us out into the street, and we partied for like another hour, just right outside the Bullet. Finally, the cops come up, but they seen those guys wrestling. You know, any local who knows those guys, you see them, you know they're just fucking. This cop ran up like it was his fucking biggest day on the job, like breaking him up, fucking like screaming, had his hand on his gun, and we were like, holy fuck, like they're just kidding, like this is This is what we do.
Buddies.
Oh, he was mad. He fucking.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
all out of there after that, but like, then we went a block down the street and kept partying some
It's
more.
no
but-
fun being the fucking new guy. I can tell you that.
Travis was on a hot trip to a DUI one night in Whitefish, and my drunken ass got him out of that one.
Ooh,
We're driving between Kalispell and Whitefish, and we'd pregame for a while
gotta love
in the
when you're
motel, and
smooth.
heading
Feel
out
good about
and-
yourself.
we're driving my buddy's old Camaro and it's rattle can black, and might have been rattle can yellow before that. And anyway, we're driving. We're about halfway between, and all of a sudden, berries and cherries. I'm like, shit. We pull into this little gas station. And he pulls in behind us, and he comes up. He goes, "You know why I pulled you over?" I was like, "No, because we were doing the speed limit, not
Yeah.
even fucking around.
But you're hammered?
We knew what we were doing. No, not. I mean, it
You're tuned
probably
up, though.
enough to not pass the.
I was well
We were just
on my
starting.
way.
And so he goes, "You know why we pulled you over?" And I'm like, "No, why?" He goes, "Because your car used to be yellow." I was like, "Well, no shit. It's like
It's registered as yellow and it's spray painted
but it's
black.
literally like, oh my god, it, like
Really? They just
You could
like
tell.
scanned your plates
And so
as
he
they
goes-
drove by?
They can
and-
do that.
he
though,
goes,
in there.
I need you to
Oh,
step out
really?
of the vehicle,
like
please."
they don't
sir."
even need to see. They
No.
can just. Wow.
And I'm like, the door don't open. I got to go out the window. He goes, "But I smell booze in there." And she's like, "Oh, sir, I'm an alcoholic, and he's just driving me back to this place in Whitefish. We just got off work, and I'm hammered." And Shane just plays the whole drunk guy card as big. He goes, "Well, I understand it's a recreational town and all, and you guys drive safe and blow." And we're like, "Yeah, it's my buddy's car, everything." Sure enough, we take off and we go back. He lets us go. We go into Whitefish there, and we're sitting at the bar. About 10 minutes after being in the bar, in walks that same cop right next
We
to us.
just-
And I'm sitting there.
We just finished. We just.
Damn
It's
it!
his last night, sir.
We just finished
Going on.
taking a shot, and Travis.
He's
puts
leaving
a-
for a few months.
Travis puts his shot glass down. He looks over, and that cop standing next to him. He's like, "Fuck."
Oh
I'm
man,
not driving anymore tonight.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Remember when oh, what was her name? I can't remember when she was the cop here in town.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
she didn't like me, and I'd never she never caught me doing anything wrong. Like this is when I was living by myself with Hanley, just kind of my time partying a little bit. And I went down just to shoot some pool, and I had been drinking, and she came in right as I'm telling the story about her, like, because people knew that we didn't like each other, and they were like egging me on, and I'm like, "Oh, that bitch!" And right as I say that, she's like, "You mean this bitch?" And I was like, "Oh,
No, man.
damn it!" Turned around, I'm like,
I'm about to be your bitch. I
"You been
understand
drinking,
that."
Noah?" And I'm like, "Nope, just here to get Jordan." And she looks over, and Jordan's fucking like half hanging on the bar, passed out. So pretty good excuse. She's like, "Get him out of here."
That's the way this was when Shane just
But
went full on
then
drunk guy.
I made it about 2-3 feet out the door, and she grabbed me, and she's like, "No, we're gonna breathalyze you." And she turned me over to Welch. He's like, "I'm not gonna breathalyze you. Have you been seeing any big deer this year?" No, I was like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah, check this one out." Like, got out of it just fine. Like,
Nice.
oh yeah, there was some cool ones, but she did not like. Even like I ran into her in Glasgow when I was doing that job up in that like Heights neighborhood in Glasgow. She didn't even like me then.
She's always been real nice
She
to me.
like drove by as we were working. I was like, "Hey, Leanne." She just fucking stared. I was like,
Some people are like that though.
Yeah.
I think she did like you. She liked you more than you knew.
well, she'd put up with me ever since I was little though. When she was a
Oh, okay.
swim team coach, and I was a little smart ass back then. I mean,
So you're
So-
breaking balls.
so I mean,
So you made your own bed.
yeah,
right,
she had a
you know?
reason for once I was old enough, and she had a job to get me in trouble to not like me. But
All right. Shane's lungs are hurting. We got to take a smoke break for him.
I'm into that.
I like you though.
We'll pause. We'll be right back.
Start off.
And we're back. You know what? I've thought about this before that I should put little commercials in between our breaks because when you listen to it straight through, it's just like, we're taking a break and we're back. There's no, I don't put a pause in between it.
What
but
could the commercials be?
I should get a salesperson.
Welcome
That's
back
what
to
I need.
Larry
is-
King Live.
I think you know a
Right.
good salesperson.
Well, I don't want to be that guy. I
Oh,
mean,
you
I
don't.
do, but I don't.
You're good at Did I try to offer you a job?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's true.
And I enjoy
it shitty
sales.
pay?
No, well, kind of. But no, I enjoy sales, and I enjoy like the actual art of selling something to somebody without being a douchebag.
Right.
It's when you feel like you're selling something that ain't worth what you're
You don't
selling.
believe
And so with this, I clearly should be doing it. And
Sure.
what my plan was originally was to get it big enough to start and be consistent enough that I could go get like a national website brand or something instead of dealing like, hey, this is Eddie's Wholesale.
This
or
this
whatever,
segment of the
dropping-
podcast brought to you by Paul's Pickles and Penis Pumps.
What if we did like a joke of the
PPP.
week during one break? Like one of us could. Hey,
Sure could. You got a good joke?
No,
You'd think being a bartender, I'd have jokes left and right, but like I don't have any like.
I think
just
after a while, you probably just start
one-liner
tuning
jokes,
them
you
out.
know?
Jokes, right?
I got funny stories that are
Sure.
like, but I don't have any like knock knock, you know, or like
The zingers, as it were.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pete and repeat jumped up.
My
no,
Uncle Willie has told me so many jokes over and over and over again. You'd think I'd remember one of them. But
I get guys that come into
he'll
the bar all
I
the
got
time.
a joke for you.
And no tons.
Yep, first.
And like
first time
sometimes
they
they'll
go,
be new, and I'll be like, "Oh, sweet, good." And then other times you'll be like, "Sis," and I'm like, "Okay."
It could be 15 minutes later, and I'll forget like just a little simple one-line story joke. I'm terrible at those kind of jokes, but like, I can do decent at making people laugh, you know,
I don't
like
tell
do it
jokes. I just make fun of people.
yeah, I just do my thing, but I can't tell like a.
And myself.
Hey, you remember
my
the-
pops, my dad has this
Blowjob
buddy,
Betsy
and we were talking about him earlier, and he's just a slow talking, deep, drawn out man, and he fucking start telling a joke, and it's a lengthy joke, but he's gonna make it longer,
Right?
and then he gets to the fucking punchline, and he just stops, and this is even better than hearing the punchline, because he just, fuck.
Couldn't remember.
That's how I tell jokes.
I
yeah.
forgot the
Can't remember the
punchline.
Where was I going with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, just plumb forget it, and then by then you're just fucking rolling, laughing. You kind of know the punchline anyways, but just fuck.
I never, unless it's a simple, quick one. I never remember it long enough or do it enough times to like get the timing right on a punchline.
Sure.
You know, a lot of times for like an actual just a joke that you'd read on. You know,
The one that I do
Yeah.
remember that I can always, it almost always works. Maybe you guys think it's funny, maybe you don't. The last sound that a pubic hair makes before it hits the floor. That's a good one to remember.
yeah. In our generation, what's a pubic hair? Like, I don't,
Are you shaved?
did you hear? This was on Rogan this week. That's what he was talking about. He goes, all the things that the porn industry changed was the landscape of most people's pubic hair.
Absolutely.
Because it used to be, I mean, they changed the VHS from the whatever the other one was, but
Betamax, right.
they started. So many people
Betamax,
were shaving that
VHS.
like people watch porn. Everybody just started shaving everything, and that's
Right.
it's kind of a.
It's not a good look for everybody.
Well, it just had to keep rolling with the times.
Since
You know?
we're
Like,
on
think
the-
about like the '80s, big hair, and
Yeah.
big
big
bush. You know?
bush.
Since we're on the pubic hair conversation,
We always
Which-
get here. It doesn't matter what time we start the podcast. We always
So-
get to the.
It's coming sooner or later.
It's just it's natural. Come on.
I worked for this old boy, and we were fucking. I was milling a piece of iron, a piece of solid steel, round steel for a conveyor belt. Anyways, you gotta take them at the millimeters, just little bit at a time as you're milling this out. And he's like, "Yeah, go another mill, go another mill." Hey, and it's always go a cunt hair, go cunt hair. And I said something to him. He goes, a cunt hair is about a millimeter. I said, I guess I didn't know that.
Like a sandy blonde.
And he
or-
goes, unless it's a redhead, figure it's two. And I'm
They're
like,
thicker.
what? This guy proceeds to tell me, he's like, oh, yeah, when we were in college, my buddy picked up this redhead chick, and then she shed a little bit in his bed.
Oh,
And he
jeez.
goes,
She had Ronald McDonald in
He
a headlock
goes-
or a leg lock.
this is the 60s. So they took it back to the shop, and they put the
Oh, my
micrometer.
God,
They
of
put
cour-
the micrometer on it, and then they started. Yeah, it's about a mil bigger than a blonde or a brunette.
Jesus.
Wow.
Just a fun fact.
So the old saying, when you tell them just a cunt hair and they ask if it's a sandy blonde, it actually means something.
There's
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
a
I guess
difference.
so.
Is it a sandy blonde or
I know.
just regular?
Well, everybody that doesn't, I am ginger, and like
don't
to
know.
shave, our fucking beard hair is way thicker than normal hair.
Right.
Like I can't. I have to use like just a shaver. I can't use like
It's-
to shave like
it's 2 mils.
because it'll like
You're like a red
kind of makes you
Wookiee.
break out, but they're thick. That's
Somebody
It's
get
2
back to
mils.
us on the Facebook page about this. Somebody get their little micrometers out and find themselves a redhead. Somebody's got it there. Gotta love a redhead.
I'm gonna
So
punch somebody if they go. Hey, let me go.
Just let them measure it. It's not weird. We need to know.
As long as your
Okay.
dick's bigger than your hair,
it's
you're
just
all right.
it's just fun fact. Yeah,
It's just fun facts to know, okay?
you should shave your beard. It makes your nose look small.
Hey, the older you get too, the
Yeah.
less hair you have down there, the bigger you look. That's what I hear. I don't know. I don't look.
I don't have that
It's a
problem.
mess.
So.
Oh,
Yeah.
on another note,
Jeez, we always get there in the podcast. It doesn't even matter
it's
when.
got to
like,
go there at least once.
Like, we can start a podcast that has a purpose and we'll stick to it, and then like you said, eventually it always gets
Well, because what the podcast
either
is
John
a bunch of
talking
buddies
about
hanging out.
somebody's
And
ass or just
you tell me, like, if we weren't
ridiculous
hanging out and
shit.
just in the garage for an hour, that by now somebody would have got a dick joke.
It's gonna
Like, it
turn
would
into
have.
dick
Well,
and
yeah.
fart jokes.
Yeah.
Well, shit, that's how it started. I mean, just
I don't
hit
care.
record. Fuck.
It might be
Shit.
offensive,
go.
but it's funny. Like, there's certain
But it's
things.
funny,
that-
like this old boy I work for, though. I mean, he's 80 something now, and he was in his late 70s when I worked for him. And it's like the older you get, the cruder you get. Like, I think I could be pretty crude sometimes, but this
You're gonna
guy,
be a fucking treat at 70.
yeah. And and it brings me back to a story my dad was saying too about old men, and they'll just speak their fucking mind.
Don't care anymore.
He worked for this old guy, and they were heading out Zortman, Landusky, out into the Little Rockies, and they're driving a truck out there, and this guy, they're just about to hit what we call the rolling am. It's south of town here, and it's just some rolling hills, and the old boy looks at my dad, and Dad's driving a semi, and this guy's in his 70s, damn near 80s, and he goes, "I got a shit, boy." And my dad goes, "All right." Figured he'd get down the road 4 more miles where you can pull off. There's a turnoff. Dad goes down the hill and up the next hill, and this old boy goes, "Son, I told you I got a shit." and Dad's like, "Oh," and he's like, "Right now." And fuck John pulled over in the semi, and dude fucking opened up the door and jumped out and didn't even try to hide it. Just shit. So, anyways, he finishes up, and John threw him the paper towels and gets
We
back.
just tried to get off toilet humor, and look at where Shane took us.
Now we're taking a shit with the old.
It's funny.
old man.
This is funny though. The old boy gets back in, and no words are said for about 4 miles or so, and he looks over at my dad and goes, "Boy, when I tell you I got a shit, I got a shit. When you get my age, that old muscle in the old sphincter, it doesn't get tight like it used to, and hold that shit in."
You pull over, I'm shitting in here.
The older you get, just it's like, fuck it. I'll just say whatever I want.
Right?
Nobody
It's
wants
not
to-
exclusive
The
to
older
men
you
either.
get, you're never
Women are
fucking
just-
around when you say shit.
Anyways, that's the last of my toilet humor, but
I bet it's not.
That can't be the end.
I really bet it's not.
yeah, probably not.
So anyway, Mark, you said you did other paper or whatever. You were back before you came here, and how in the hell did you end up in Malta?
Journalismjobs.com.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, you actually found there is a website.
There's
Every
a-
time you're pulling on that, you're making noise through here, Shane.
Larry Flint wasn't hiring, Malta
Right.
was.
And I'm not into pee porn, so that wouldn't work.
When did you get in journalism right out of college or what?
It's tough
Like-
business. to
My
break
degree is in
into.
journalism
Yeah.
from the University of Montana.
So you're a bona fide real life journalist then,
Yeah,
right?
Can't do
Huh.
math, can't spell, so go be a journalist.
There you go. Perfect.
I'd like to hear you write some personal pieces that aren't just for the Phillips County News.
Where
You
where
get
would
a
I
pen
put it?
name. I
It's
don't-
true.
The internet. Where else would you put it?
Yeah.
Or in a book? I don't like
It's just
something interesting enough.
You want to come home and
Like he said,
No,
though,
I agree.
you know what I mean?
He's like, I read and I write and I do the shit all day. I don't want to come home and do the shit
continue
over.
to do it.
But I see, like with me
It's not
moving
like in the
dirt.
movies.
What's
where-
that?
It's not like in the movies where you love your
Right,
job
yeah,
so
did you?
much.
I don't want to hear you whine because I started this podcast while I was at the radio station.
Sure.
So,
But same thing.
and that's where I finally went like, hey, maybe I should do some stuff on my own instead
And
of.
it's a huge creative outlet.
Yeah.
You're right, and I should do it, and it's just I'm lazy.
You'd probably
point
enjoy
blank.
it more
Oh yeah,
than
sure.
like writing about the pig at the fair.
Yeah, I mean the pig is great. He's
Seriously,
great every
I mean,
year.
Yeah.
He's usually pretty fat.
He's
so-
do- and
What's your favorite food at the
well,
fair?
Everybody, it's hamburger. You want onions or not onions?
I like the
Sure.
corn
I remember
dogs.
Travis interviewed me once at the fair, and I
Sure.
was such a smartass. He probably didn't even put it on.
I like the corn dogs and
I
the
just love
fur
the
burgers.
camaraderie between all the carnies, and I see people out here getting ripped off by all these games, like just everything you could think of, just being a smartass. Travis, I could tell he was just like,
You think?
Thank you.
Just wasting
Stop,
my
right.
time.
Well,
I
you're
could have
probably
interviewed
telling the
someone
truth.
that might have been actually.
I had one
on the
time
show.
that he, I go, what's your pig's name? And he says, that's this. And I was like, oh, really? Where'd you think of that? He goes, it's my mom's name. It's
Well,
so.
we're gonna spike that.
I
We won't
go,
be running that.
I go, do you, does she know about it? He goes, if this is on the radio, she does now. I was like, you little bastard.
Were you live or were you
Yeah.
recording?
Oh, no, it went across the air.
Yeah.
And she found out, and it was, he may have been in a
How
little
did
bit of
he-
trouble, but I'm,
What
as a
was the
radio
name
interviewer,
on, like, the
I
plaque?
am laughing. That was it.
She didn't notice the whole. What was?
She wasn't. I don't know if she
kind
was
of
in.
mother
I don't
was
think
she?
she was down there yet. I don't think she was down there yet.
I mean, usually they're the ones out there feeding them.
he was. I think he
Right,
was
doing all the work.
No, he was either a junior or senior in high school when this happened, and it was funny as. I mean, it was good.
The fair's a good time, regardless. If
I
it's the same
remember
thing every year.
looking forward to the
Your little
fairs.
cousin switched
Now I
names
just
on
hate
me.
it.
The twins one time.
Oh yeah, they're.
I was like,
bastards.
I'm like, and you're so and so, and you're so and so, right? And then they're like, no, I'm this one and that, and I'm like, oh. And I kind of thought it, but in mid interview, you just go with the interview because I'm asking them about their pig and what
Sure.
did it weigh and how much this and that, and
Oh yeah.
it's nothing like the
It was
podcast.
a chili cook-off my first year here, and I obviously knew who it was before your dad was a commissioner.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But we're at a chili cook-off, and it was on Oxart, and I can't remember the other gentleman. But they both gave me the wrong names. They said they were Richard Dunbar and somebody else.
Switched it
and,
around.
Switched it
and I
up.
just completely wasn't even paying attention. And I knew
Yep.
these people were different, but completely wrote it like that.
Well, when you're working,
know,
that's what
yeah.
you're just.
You're in
Yep.
that mode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The fair used to be the bomb. Now that I got kids, I just don't even like to go. Cause they love, they're like, yeah, let's go to the fair. And then we get them like, do you want to do this ride? They're too scared. Or you want to do? We end up doing like 2 things the whole day. And you're like, fucking Jesus. Like I want to go do that. Like, come on.
Sure.
Yeah. They get into
I can't go
one
by
thing.
myself. Then people will know that.
You tell me
I'm
as a
just
kid
here
you
for
didn't
me.
kids home.
you didn't one ride over and over and over either.
Oh man, I to be honest, I'm not that big a fan of rides. Like,
Oh, you get sick on them or what?
oh yeah, last time I went
What a
crazy.
vagina.
Oh man, it's not my fault. They ruined me for life. They strapped me into that rock and rolla. Remember that one? And it was the last ride of the night. So this fucking carny for like 15 minutes straight, like it was the
Carney just
It was
strapped
the
him in.
strap on my stomach that made me
like a-
puke.
Carney
like-
just straps him in, turns it on, goes, hits the loker for 15
I swear to
minutes.
God,
and
that's
comes
what he
back.
did. Like,
oh,
he-
fuck, I got kids
He
on
turned
here.
it on and like 50. I remember like going by the fucking control part, spinning like, turn it off.
It's like a kid on his
Didn't do it.
21st birthday. You're puking, motherfucker.
Yo, man, puked every. Like I remember specifically like trying to aim on my down roll, like so.
I'm gonna
flew
get
out.
him.
I can't imagine why you talk shit about the carnies to Travis. when he
Oh
was there.
man,
I don't think
know,
I've ever-
fuckers. I remember some sexy
I've
little
ever puked
chicks
on a
I was
ride.
chasing at the time came and were like, "No, are you all right?" I'm like, "Fuck,
I'm pretty
God
fucking
damn
far
it.
from all right.
I had a
No,
kid
I'm not
one
all right. There's puke on my shirt. It's my favorite shirt."
I had a kid one time. He was a couple years younger than me, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to go on one of the rides? Whatever. We go on a ride." And he barfs. Luckily, this one misses me, but I'm like in the corner of the zipper or whatever. We get off. It's like 3 hours later. He's like, "I'm fine. It was just I drank too much lemonade." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "All right." Like it was probably one of those middle of the day, not many kids there yet. I was like,
Fool
"All right,
me
let's go
once,
on."
shame on you.
Yeah.
Fool me
We
twice.
get on the tilt-a-whirl, whoop, throws up again. I'm like, you
Get you this
son
time?
of a bitch. Some got on my shoes and pant legs that time. I'm like, that.
He must have had a sister that Travis was after because he's smart enough not to
don't-
get on the fucking ride with him again.
I don't know.
Man,
I think
the
I was just
fair-
really bored, and I probably was, at that time I was probably stacking my shoes just so I could meet the height requirement, so I could get on. I was like,
Still do that.
if I go with this taller kid, I'll be
They
all
had
right.
that like the ship back then. When
Yeah.
we went to, right?
It was terrifying.
Oh man, I remember getting on it once and thinking like,
Dude,
I
and
was
everybody
gonna
wanted to get in the
fucking
back of it.
die.
Yep.
Oh.
You let go and you like float way up
Oh,
with your
dude.
hands up, and
I
you
was
were
just
cool if you didn't
little.
put your hands up.
Just think about the people that are putting these rides together.
That's what I
I'm
mean.
saying.
Dude.
Now that I'm older and I have kids and I look at these guys
it's a little
running, I'm
sketchy.
like,
Like you look.
did
yeah.
you make sure that bolt was tight?
Yeah,
Or-
that's-
Or were you like, oh fuck?
Half these guys. No offense to carnies,
Right. They're beautiful
but
people.
half the time I probably wouldn't even serve them in the mint bar if they came in.
That's
I mean,
it.
some of them I'm like, I.
That's like, I think the last time. I was
There's
on-
a few good ones.
Last time I was on a zipper, I'm sitting there and I just happened to look over and there's a pin and a bearing and a grease zerk where you'd grease the bearing and pin. And that fucker ain't seen grease since day one. And like that thing, by all rights, the zipper shouldn't go squeakity, squeakity, clunkety, clunk. That
Oh,
thing
yeah.
should just be nice and smooth. And it's squeaking and whining and a grinding. And I can just see this pin that was once a half-inch pin, half-inch round pin is a quarter-inch
It's
pin.
just dead.
Oh, I know. Even like the little kid ones that just go up and down. Like as my kids are going on them, I'm watching.
You're still
every
thinking,
little
what if that
fucking
came
thing. I'm
loose
like,
right now?
Like, how is this guy qualified to put that together? He doesn't even know how it fucking works.
Yeah, he can't even tie his shoes.
No shit.
Fucking Velcro shoes.
Whoa.
He's got half his shirt tucked in. Come on.
Most of the time,
He's got
those
3
guys.
teeth. He can't
most of the
brush his
times-
teeth.
Most of the time.
Velcro
And sorry,
shoes
carnies,
have
that we're
3 teeth.
offending. I mean, we're blaming you for your worst specimen.
Them
I
carnies
guess,
like,
but
no, we're just making a paycheck. We
The
don't
thing
give
is,
a fuck.
a lot of the time a carny
can
is
die.
somebody that doesn't have a normal job. So they
Somebody
went out for a
put it
temporary
together.
job for the weekend, And
now it's
somebody's
man.
like, "Hey, put together the Ferris wheel."
Turned
Right.
out-
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, but like I remember
Never
this
had an
last
accident in
summer at the
25
fair.
years.
You kind of
There
look like
were
Walt
there were
Disney.
people that live here in town that were working out on the fair, and I was like, man, fuck that. You can't fucking put that together.
I
Like,
mean,
you don't know
maybe
what
they
the
can.
fuck
No,
you're
maybe it's
doing.
simple.
You can't even put your life
No
together.
shit.
At least if I don't know you, there's a chance.
Man,
you might
somebody's
know what the
getting
fuck
a
you're
call.
Exactly,
Or
but no,
somebody's gonna be
like-
like, "You asshole! I worked the fair last year."
Well, I'm sorry, but
Some
like,
of you are pretty good.
It's not. I'm not saying you're a bad person.
I'll
I'm just
stick-
saying, like, I see the people that put those together. I'm
I'll
like,
stick
no
with the
fucking
bouncy
way.
house.
Right.
No shit.
I know
He doesn't
that.
bouncy house.
Definitely
Or the
doesn't look
fun
like
house
an
'cause it's
engineer
fun to
from-
watch
Right.
kids run into those mirrors.
Hey,
like
do
my
you
niece
remember?
2 years ago, like 4 times before she figured out.
Dude,
to
my
turn,
boy
like-
did that too, and I wanted to laugh, and I was laughing, but he was hurt, but I was laughing. But do you remember
Oh,
when
I
we were
was
kids?
laughing the whole
You'd go
time.
through the fun house and the stupid mirrors, and somebody thought it was a good idea that you could win little vials of rotten egg smell.
Oh
And some
yeah.
assholes,
Really?
yeah, like these
They were
little
stink
glass vials-
bombs. You
stink
ever seen
bombs.
glass
Okay.
stink bombs?
And
Oh.
they just smell like
Huh?
they smell like rotten eggs. And you'd always get some assholes would go in there and just break them on the ground. You'd be walking through there and just get a waft of it.
I remember in the old gym in the high school, it was right after the fair or whatever, and school starts, and basketball's up, and somebody threw one on the basketball court after that, and it was clear in bleachers. It was those were gross,
Yeah.
those stink bombs.
Probably give you cancer. Too.
Oh, they were terrible smelling.
Probably some sort of.
I wonder what they put in those fucking things. They were
Nuclear waste.
terrible
What
smelling.
kind of prize is that? I mean, I guess it's people
I
enjoy
think you
it.
could buy them there
You
too.
know-
It had one of those
you'd,
little,
You'd get them out of the fucking quarter machine. You'd drop a quarter in, and it would.
the little bulldozer machine
It
with the
dose
quarters.
'em up,
right?
Yeah.
And it was you never won money out there, and you never got that stupid fucking knife that was in there. You always got one of them things. You'd put $47 on it and get 2 goddamn stink bombs, and you're gonna burn one in the fun house. And the other one, your mom's gonna wash it, and it's gonna bust in the laundry, and you're gonna never hear the end of this shit.
Or those little kids would win them, like my kid's age. Those glass mirror posters.
Right.
You hear the little thing,
Yeah.
like Budweiser. or you get-
Metallica,
yeah.
and Megadeth, and
Bring one with
AC/DC,
some
yeah.
sexy chick in a bikini on home. Like,
Dude,
look what I
yeah,
want.
out of the 10 you'd win, 3 of them would be shattered by the time you got home from the
Sure.
fair.
Oh man, or
Just
the fish.
shards of glass
Yeah, I was gonna
everywhere.
say-
How about
Like-
the
Home with
people?
the
Yeah,
fish,
you
right?
want a fish.
I don't even
Yeah.
let my kids
Oh,
go
sweet.
for those. I'm
I
like,
want to
fuck that.
fish at 9 in the morning. We're gonna be here until fucking
Yeah.
8 o'clock this afternoon. This thing's gonna boil in 100-degree heat
No shit.
in this fucking.
Don't worry, little Nemo, we'll make it.
Yeah, poor little fish just
Oh,
in there,
man.
and he's swimming around for a while, and pretty soon you just see him petering out,
Right.
just petering out.
That's when you
Yeah.
get a straw and from your Coke and you blow some air in
Oh
there.
no, man.
Oxygen, right?
We
need
last
some
summer we
oxygen.
happened to sit kind of to where I could see that stand last year, and over like 45 minutes of me sitting there with the baby, like I watched him scoop like several dead fish out. I was like,
I know.
fuck, god damn it.
There's shit. There's more fucking.
Don't go on me,
There's
Charlie.
more
don't go.
goldfish out in the city lagoon
Right.
than there is in the whole fucking state of Montana.
Really?
Well, everybody
They're-
gets home and
they're
just dumps
Vietnamese
them
fighting
fuckers
fish,
out
aren't
at
they?
night, and they just dump it down the
Oh,
toilet.
right.
Then all of a sudden it gets revived once it hits oxygen.
It's like
awesome.
the movie Alligator back in the 80s. That's where you got your alligator.
Right.
So flushes
Well,
it down the toilet. pretty
old
soon,
Jim
so you
Brown
can
used to
fucking
always
sit
tell
in.
the story that there was white alligators in our sewer.
Really?
He'd get outside of the school, and they'd go and they'd clean out the sewer thing, and they'd open up the manhole. Well, he'd stick that big rod down there and let it circle around, and he's like, "We got one," and it'd be moving, and all of us kids would be like, "Shit, he's serious." And it was a big myth when I was a kid, like,
Right? That's cool.
dude, the sewer's got
I've never
alligators
heard
in
of
it.
that.
Dude, the sewer's got white alligators. They'd never seen the sunlight. These things are. I know, yeah. So you
talking
wondered.
12,
You look
13
through the
feet,
little
man.
holes when you're out riding your bike. Look down in there. Say, dude, I
I
think I
saw
seen
one."
one. I think I seen one. Yeah.
You're down there braving the methane gas, trying to
find
see
that.
a fucking white alligator, like and then you'd get the light from the other hole, and you're like, "I saw it! I saw it!"
No shit.
Turns out that was
Or you
just
got
toilet
that
paper floating
You
by.
got the
Right.
one friend that's like, "Holy fuck, there it was."
Dude, I've seen them. In fact, my
seen
dad
it.
killed one time with a
In
knife.
fact.
I swear to God,
You
we
know,
were out
a
there
12-year-old
last night.
says, in fact, that you're about to get some real shit.
Yep.
I snuck out. I swear to God, we went down there, jumped in.
Wrestled it.
First time you start cussing as a little kid, you're out
Right.
riding your bike. Holy shit, dude.
Oh man, I remember the
right.
first time I'd been cussing for a long time, but the first time I cussed in front of my dad, we were out elk hunting, and we're driving down this road, and you see this juniper bush that had just been torn a new asshole by some bull elk, and I was like, "Holy fuck!
Oh,
look
you
at
dropped
that
the
shit!"
F-bomb.
And then I realized, and I was like, "Oh," and he's like, "Nah, don't ever say that again." I was like, God, that's all I got. Like,
The other,
if we
was
weren't
excited.
hunting, I'd have got my fucking.
the other
ass
day,
kicked.
my nephew was over, and he's like almost 3, and I was in my room, and I got my toe on my dresser. I'm like, fuck. Oh, I thought he was in the living room.
It's Malta, so then the phone rings. Hey Shane, you all right?
Yeah. And then I hear
Send an
I hear
ambulance.
my little nephew, fuck,
Yeah.
fuck, shit, fuck, god damn it.
Our,
I'm bad
I've told this on here before, but our daughter calls. She's got her blankie, and she calls it her damn blue blankie. Go get my damn blue blankie. She'll go. And it was too cute.
Get the
to say-
step
yeah.
effect.
And she doesn't. If you'll be like, Rhea, that's your blue blankie. She'll go, it's my damn blue blankie. She doesn't know any. She doesn't know she's cousin. She just, it's her damn blue blankie.
And you better damn well
And
get
it's
it for
fucking
me.
funny.
That
Like
is
it-
funny.
Oh man.
Dude, that's
all
funny
of my
when-
kids knew how to say the F word before they were 2.
Yeah.
That's funny when you're like, when I
Sticks and stones.
said I
What do you-
stubbed my toe, and you're like, and then your friend calls you, dude. Of course, it's small town Malta, Montana, with 1,400 people, if that.
Give us
And-
18.
And of course, something happens, and
I've got
rumors
2,000
go
subscribers.
so
I was,
fast
yeah.
in this town. Like
Oh,
you can,
yeah.
and Travis and I always said this too. Like, dude, I could be walking through my house, talking on my phone with Travis, stub my toe. Fuck, I just stubbed my toe. Travis laughs about it. Tell somebody downtown, like, oh yeah, I was talking to Shane today, and he stubbed his toe. That person's gonna go, hey, Travis talked to Shane today, he stubbed his toe. Apparently, he's got gangrene. Now it's gonna go to another person. Hey, talk to Travis today. Shane talked to Travis today. Shane stubbed his toe, got gangrene. Now they gotta cut his foot off.
He might not make
That's
it.
how fucking fast a rumor moves in
dude.
fucking Malta,
Pretty soon
Montana.
Travis was sticking his toes up Shane's ass.
Yeah.
No shit.
Well, the weird thing about it around here,
Yeah.
well, the toes and the that. No, I'm just, but it was different back when there was just landlines.
Right.
And my mom still has a landline, but like all of her, she's from the day of like,
Party lines.
they well,
I've
not
got a
even,
landline
not
at
even,
my house and it rang today.
but they, yeah,
First time
it's,
in
mine's
months,
usually like, are you voting for?
Air raid.
But
no shit.
no, he.
Yeah.
The only reason I have
my
one
mom
is
will
for
still call her
internet.
friends and sit there and just BS, like a gossip or whatever it
I
is, type
imagine
of
they
like.
had a party line here. You know what a party
Oh
line
yeah,
is?
yeah.
Yeah,
would-
so that building
Anybody can
across,
pick it up?
that building
Yeah, the
across
phone- yeah,
from
the
your work.
Pinelands building, huh?
So my dad grew up in this house right next door to where we're sitting.
Okay.
So John would pick up the
I
phone.
can't take it anymore. I gotta pee.
John would pick up the phone and call his buddy, and got to call down to the news or to the
I'll wait.
telephone office, and then she'd plug it in. Those ladies would sit down there and listen to everybody's conversation. Dad told me, he's like, you never planned a party, you didn't do shit. Like you just say, yeah, we're gonna go out, we're gonna meet
Can you
up. here."
imagine how much the operator
And then,
knew?
and then,
Right. That's
and then,
crazy.
Doc Malloy lived right across the street, and his wife would pick up the phone and listen. Because
That's it.
if you were on the same block, you could just listen.
Can you
to
tell me how many
some
people
conversation.
didn't just sit and listen though, or even like the first days of the cordless phones?
Sure,
When
right.
you all of a sudden you get in your neighbor across that sucker,
You're
it's
not
just a
turning
little
that
radio.
off.
Yeah, you're like,
Absolutely.
he said, what about
You
his
used to
credit
get that
card?
with- you used to get that
No,
with cell phones a lot, especially when it was analog. You'd be talking to your buddy, and all of a sudden you hear, "Yeah,
Yeah,
break, Cessna,
somebody-
Papa, 1, 2, 9 over." Like, what the fuck was that?
Back in the cell one days, you'd drive by Arts and not have service because the building was too tall.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I got to take a quick break.
I,
I'm sure you smokers can smoke a cigarette or
Shall
something.
we, Shane?
All right, we're back and smoke free. But
Yeah.
so, Mark, what's the coolest story you think you've ever written? One, or even a good one. It doesn't have to be
I
the
think the
best ever.
coolest story that's taken place in Phillips County was probably that $1 million bull I sold. I think it was the.
Oh yeah.
I think it was Hinman, maybe.
yeah, that it was actually like 580,000, wasn't it?
I don't even
Or
remember. It was
maybe
a
hit
shit ton.
And then their bull sale's actually next
Yeah,
Monday.
coming up. So that was pretty cool because I don't know shit about agriculture. I don't know.
Bull sales used to be a good one for me of doing ads.
Sure.
And they weren't. We didn't really have a lot of them on the air when I started, and I started in March or whatever when I started the radio station. I was
Sure.
like, he's like, well, find accounts, do what you can do to find advertising. And I was like, well, these papers have all these bull sales. Let's call these guys. And I just made like some specific packages and
Sure.
got them on the air. And
Huffy Street Rocker.
that's what it was. Yep.
Sorry.
Damn it, that's awesome.
That was the name.
We were just that bike that Shane and I both had with.
Yeah, it's kind of a
me
shitty
see.
picture, but
Let me see a
it's all
picture if there
blurred.
is one.
It's all
Definitely a
blurred.
Huffy.
I'll
That's-
find a different one, but
That's the bike, that green and black. Oh man, I thought it was so cool when I got it. Now looking at the bike, now I know how young of a kid I probably must have been to think that was super
Sure.
cool. But
Compared to, so what year was that, you suppose?
oh,
Because Mongoose was out. There was some,
I'm gonna say 89.
yeah.
I don't know what
No,
year.
I would
92.
say
If that.
90, 92, it's probably like 98. We were freshmen in high school.
No, yeah, I wouldn't have been 7. I would have been like, no, I was probably, I bet between 8 and 12.
So how did you guys? I know businesses have changed here over the years,
Kmart, I
obviously.
think,
Kmart
was probably in Havre.
Okay.
Or my
where
parents
I
would
got
go to
all my
Billings or
rides.
something, you know.
You might have got it from Hardware Hank. I don't know.
Could have back. I doubt that one. I mean, it was probably a exclusive Christmas only at you know, whatever. Yeah, it was, man, Christmas shopping was so much cooler back in the day. Well, I shouldn't say cooler. I love doing it in my underwear at 3 a.m.
Sure.
You know, laying in bed or whatever. But it was like an event. Like it was
No
one of those,
shit.
you know, like we'd go down for Thanksgiving to my grandma's in Billings or in Lockwood, and then the girls would all get up and go Christmas shopping in the morning, and that's how I became a Lions fan. We'd get up
Okay.
Thanksgiving and watch Lions football, and then at the end of that night, all the girls would go, you know, get their shit ready and go on the Black Friday thing. And,
Sure.
but
That's one thing as an outsider, kind of to Malton, Phillips County, that coming from Superior, where there's like 3 stores.
Yeah.
It's kind of incredible how it's the same amount of people, but there's so many businesses here in Malton.
how far is Superior from
It's an
Zootown?
hour from Missoula.
What the hell, Mike?
I think I've been through Superior a couple times, but
I'm sure I-90 right through the.
never stopped there.
There's no reason to stop there. That's not true. Sorry, people in Superior.
Yeah, you're gonna be so mad.
Oh,
Okay, look at
All
it. I got
80s
both
do
guys
it.
on the podcast. They're both on their phone.
I'm
all
trying to
3
find-
are on the
all
phone.
4 of them.
I'm trying to find
Hey!
I'm
I'm
trying
on
to
my
find
phone
a
taking
picture. I
pictures.
found the radio though.
That was you could remove
Checking
the
some
radio
March
and take it
Madness
in with you.
scores, Seeing
And-
how my Cubs did.
and
Give
if
me
you
a fucking
remember-
break.
Padres won.
I don't know if you remember, but the radio you could put it on the handlebars, but you could also put it down below.
Padres,
Yep.
that
Yeah, it would
made you
hang
very
between the
excited
thi-
about
Yeah.
that. No, huh?
Yeah, they got a nice team for a change.
You know who else won? Me, by not watching baseball today.
There you go. I was going to ask you.
I didn't waste any time on
What
it.
the fuck is wrong
I know
with
you're a
you?
Lions fan, but I don't think you're not a basketball fan or
No,
a baseball fan.
I actually went to World
I
Series
love
Game 7
baseball.
when the D-backs beat the Yankees. I was there for that. That was
For,
cool. Got in.
The walk-off hit, Gonzalez,
Yep,
right?
yep. And I was sitting like 2 seats up from the third base foul pole.
No shit.
For free. We were at the after party, or not the after, but the tailgate party, and we showed up a little bit late, so we're way at the back. And the tailgate party was like, it went from Bank One Ballpark out that way where the big screen was. Everybody was watching, so we're way back by the doors. And this dude, it was from the 5th inning. This dude comes out and he's like, "Hey, take our ticket stubs. Wife's sick. We gotta go." Gives us 4 ticket stubs. There's me and 2. It was me and my buddy, or my roommate at the time, and my cousin's girlfriend, my cousin that lived with us that was supposed to be on his way, and he never ended up showing up. We had his girlfriend, and she was a fucking nut job. I mean, like, this was after September 11th, so she's looking at the sky, she's like, "I'm into numbers. There's big things about numbers. I seen a 3 tonight, blah, blah, blah. We can't go in." Like,
She started the
she was
chemtrail?
nuts the whole time. But anyway, we get in, and we asked the first usher on the concourse there, like, "Hey, where are our seats?" He's like, "Man, right down there." We walked down and got to watch from the 5th inning on, and
That's
it was
fucking
fucking
sick.
awesome.
Pretty iconic games.
Oh,
I'd love to go to
unbelievably
a
awesome.
baseball
I'm
game.
like, that was one of my most memorable things from when I lived in
Absolutely.
Arizona. Because dude, I was a college kid. There's no way I'm affording those tickets. I couldn't even. And then I had a couple of my other buddies. What ended up happening is because the Suns game was right next door,
Okay.
and they all went to the Suns game for like $10 a piece that night because nobody went to the Suns game. It was,
World Series.
yeah, but it was badass. Other than that, I don't watch too much baseball really. It's too slow for me. I can't. I like the sport. I like to play it.
Sure.
I'm not even fucking good at it, but
It's way better to watch in person. Just
I like
hockey
wheels
is.
and I like scarier things.
Sure.
But then again, one of the most scary things in the world to me is if somebody's throwing a fucking 90-mile-an-hour
Dude.
fastball at my head.
Right.
I'd much rather jump a dirt
Or
bike.
coming back at you. off the
Yeah,
bat.
that's what I
fucking-
mean. I'm terrified watching Little League and those
Yeah.
metal bats, and like my kid's got drilled right in the chest.
Sure.
And like you hear all these horror stories of him dying, and
Right.
it dropped. I mean, it dropped him right on key. You know, and I'm like, oh, so you know, he's fucking crying. You walk out there, what the hell, you know? He also the first year had one out there holding it off and completely misses his glove and fucking dings him right off the
Oh,
head.
man.
Drops it, you know. I mean, it was swollen, nose
I
bloody.
fucking love baseball.
Walk it off.
Yes,
I
Walk
do.
it off. I watch one sport, Supercross. I absolutely watch no other sports.
Right.
I watch skiing and
Like
snowboarding and
I watch every
skateboarding
fucking
as well.
sport I can.
X Games.
Me too,
All
kind of.
of them.
I'm.
Like I pay for my TV for ESPN and movie channels like that.
I like.
Sure.
I personally almost like watching some of the morning talk shows and I'll get the highlights of every sport, and I enjoy
Sure.
that. But I don't. Very rarely will I sit down and watch a full baseball game unless it's in the playoffs or
Sure.
But
That opening day today, I sat and watched 9 innings. Padres shut him out. There you go.
And like with me, it's one of them deals. Like I'm around
Love
people all
baseball.
day that really don't watch that shit. So
Maybe it's my attention span.
How am I gonna make a conversation? Hey, did you see that game last night, guys?
I never
No.
got into
No, I did
baseball
not.
until.
Well, you fucking missed out, dumbasses. That's what
yeah.
I'd say.
I never got into
The fuck
fucking.
were you doing?
I never got into play until like the 6th inning
Were you born in
anyway.
a barn?
Right.
No, I played.
No,
I wasn't very athletic as a kid. Or I mean, I was little. I was compared to the Kevin Penu's of the world, man.
Sure.
Like, I mean, I was a foot and a half
Well,
shorter
I
than
hear
him
you
in
dominated
grade
wrestling,
school.
though. When you're pitted against people your same size.
Yeah, I mean, I love
man,
wrestling.
like-
Sure.
When somebody was there that weighed in as much as you.
Yeah.
It's easy to win if nobody's there.
I won a state title at 55 pounds in 5th grade.
No kidding.
yeah.
Dude, I went 2
55
seasons
pounds, littlest guy out there.
undefeated and won the freestyle and the folk style
At what weight?
championship 2 years in a row at like 75
Those-
or something. When I was younger, I didn't ever
Little
win
guy
it in
wrestling
high
is
school.
fucking
The
crazy.
USAW and like the AAU that we used to have back when Steve was our coach and stuff, like we'd go to all the huge tournaments around
Right.
the state. And
Oh,
like it
man.
was, I mean,
Yeah,
it was
we
big
went
time
to
shit.
huge tournaments.
Like, so by the time that you got to high school and you wrestled a Metra, I mean, yeah, that's big. But if you were down there for like AAU state in the Metra, that place was full. I mean, it
Oh,
was like
man,
every weight
huge.
class and
Well, you triple the kids.
Yeah, it
triple
was-
the parents.
Dude, I remember when we went to Reno one year, it was like 3
wrestle.
Metras stacked
Yeah.
side by side. There was like 18 mats in there. I remember like going in there and like you're saying, like I went and wrestled in Detroit, but it was like a hockey rink,
Sure.
like 4 different ones with mats.
Yeah.
But like that place was just fucking ginormous. Like,
I loved
remember
wrestling.
like walking around the Metro when you're little, you know, seeing all the different shit. Like
Well,
I
you're
don't
on
think
the
I ever
floor
made
for
it
the-
off of like one side at that place when I was
for the first time when you're a kid and you get to be on the floor of the Metro and you're looking up at everybody, you're
man.
just like, yeah, this is
Right.
Dude, it's funny because like the kids I used to beat when I was younger ended up being the 3-timer, 4-timer state champions
In
when
high
we were
school.
in
You were
high
an early
school.
bloomer like that.
Oh,
You're
like the Stro
dominating
boys.
kids as a young
I
kid.
used to beat the Stro boys all the time. They ended up just becoming absolute fucking freak animals. Like Brendan Barta from Billings Skyview, he was like a 2-timer. I beat him up all the time when we were little.
I was the opposite.
then
I was a late bloomer.
I guess I got lazy though once I started getting old. They kept putting the time in, and I was like, "Fuck, I was
See,
good
that-
when I was younger. I'm gonna fucking
I
ride
like
that."
girls.
I didn't grow into my own until like sophomore year. Like I was one of those late bloomers. So I mean, it was tough. Like I mean, I got my ass kicked for a while, but it and it was just constant grind. And you figured if I outworked them, and then eventually I got to where it's like, all right, now we're
Dude, it sucked
doing.
for me.
But I was always so little. Like I mean, I was always the smallest kid on the team by a long ways.
Sure.
So
fucking.
I had to eat to make the minimum my freshman year. Every tournament, I'd be out there with a
Oh,
gallon
my
of
God.
fucking
Didn't even know
water.
there was a minimum.
That'd make me
banana
so
milkshake.
mad.
Oh, it was
Watching fucking Kyle Stevens eating
It
an
was
ice cream
so-
cone weighing in just to like.
That's to
I hope
have-
I make it. Like
to have to eat to
God
make the
damn
minimum
it.
was twice as miserable than to have to diet.
I'd eaten in 2 days and did nothing but run and
oh,
fucking sit in the hotel bathroom with 7 coats on, heat light,
I,
water.
oh, I did that too. Once I got older, I dieted. But
Sure.
I my freshman year, I remember I weighed in and I was like a 10th under. And I go back out and took like 2 more drinks of Powerade and then just threw up all over. Had to start all over, and all in that day. You got to weigh in that day, so you got to make it. And the minimum at the time. This is the worst part about it is my coach thought that it was 85, so I was making 85 at our room weigh-ins. We find out like a couple matches into it that no, it's 83 now. You didn't have to get those extra 2 pounds.
That last 2 hours
Dude.
of torturing yourself.
My fucking senior year when I fucked my shoulder up, I had to get so many weigh-ins at 152 to wrestle that at state. And I remember going in to the last weigh-in I had to get. I was like fucking 13 pounds overweight a day before the weigh-in.
Damn.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
No, lay off the pizza.
No shit, like pissed at myself. Mom made stroganoff or something the night before, you know, but I
We were-
lost all of it
We were
somehow.
just talking
like-
about a kid that he was in my class, and
What year did you
He al-
graduate, Shane?
02.
2.
Okay.
Anyway, well, that's when I should have graduated. But
You
anyway,
should have graduated in 01, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I had to take first grade a couple times.
Remember showing up in 2nd grade. Where'd my best friend go? Shane, what are you doing in her class still?
Don't fucking worry
Still
about
first
it.
grade.
It's too
But,
cool. They wanted me to stay back and teach the younger
This
kids.
kid.
I'm kind of a big fucking deal.
They thought I'd do a little better than the teachers.
I get older, the chicks stay the same.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Anyhow, this kid fucking dieted, and then after he was able to eat again, I'll never forget, like, they went to like a buffet in Billings, And this kid fucking and he just ate and ate and ate, and he swelled up. And like his fucking head turned purple and shit. It was awful. Like, I'm like, this dude's gonna fucking die, and I'm gonna watch this.
You
This is
cannot
awful.
after state. You cannot wait to eat a cheer
man.
bag.
I
Like
remember after my sophomore year, we went to Fuddruckers, and I ordered a pound burger, large fries,
a
large
big
chocolate
burger.
shake.
Three
I
bites.
scarfed the whole
3
thing
bites
down.
of it, I'm full.
No, I ate the whole thing. But then
no, by the time you get to
immediately-
Fuddruckers, you had a day into your cheer bag
Yeah,
too. So like
I
you're-
ran
it's the next.
outside
Sure.
and puked behind the bus as soon as I finished that meal. But it was good.
How is this even still a fucking sport? This is
Oh, it's
brutal.
great.
It's the greatest sport on earth.
Makes you a good
That's how
man.
it's still a
Travis is talking about them cheer bags,
Right.
and for those of you who don't know,
Oh, time out before I forget this fucking story. As I was coaching wrestling,
Sure.
some fucking parent decided it was a good idea to give all these kids in their cheer bags those toy bow and arrows with all the fucking suction cup arrows with them. And we're on the bus, Craig and I.
It's a good idea
And
if
all
you're
of a
not on
sudden,
the bus.
these fucking arrows start flying past us like we're at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. What the? You gave? They were in our cheer bags.
so
Anyway, sorry to interrupt
For those of you
you.
who don't know, it's a small town, small community. So like when the basketball players or the wrestlers or whatever are going on to state, they set up these bags at the local grocery store, and you can put stuff in them, like a card, or you can throw some snacks in there or whatever. I'm standing there and I see my nephews up there, and then all of his buddies, and my wife's in there with me. I'm like, I'm gonna go buy a bunch of rubbers and just film. She's like, "Don't fucking do that." And I had the Visa card, and I'm getting ready to check out, and I'm like, just pulling it and gonna go walk back, I was gonna grab a bunch of condoms. She fucking took it out of my hand. You're not fucking doing that.
Because it had her name on it.
So I wasn't gonna put the receipt in there, but how funny would that have been? Or just fill it up with little kids' toys, like you were saying.
You guys seen all those? And this was kind of early internet when this came out. Like the funny things to do at Walmart. Like you go set all the alarm clocks 30 minutes apart for blah blah blah, or
Sure.
go set up a tent in the camping section and invite those people over. Get on the thing and go. We have a code red. Like all those things. There's so many fucking funny things. Somebody had to do it first before they come up with it. Or
Right.
There's one that I tried once, and it pretty fucking comical.
Which Walmart was
too.
this?
I don't even know if it was a Walmart or where it was, but I did it to one of my family members. I'd had a jug of Mountain Dew, and I just took a pen and stuck a hole in the top of the lid, and I'm in the urinal, peeing, and then I start spraying it underneath there, going, "Whoa, boy! Whoa, whoa, boy!" And he's fucking dancing right out of there, and I'm giggling. Then there's another fun thing to do is if like you're in a gas station and you got to sit down and you got to go take a shit, and it's like one of your buddies walking in, and if they don't know it's you or whatever, you get in there and you start just really making some deep fart noise just with your hands. I did this to a friend of ours one time, and he didn't say a word, and I'm thinking like he didn't know it was me, but I can't wait for him to like have the look on his face. So we get in the car like, what the hell is that? And I get out there, and he's kind of just looking around, and he's like, there was a guy in the bathroom, man. He had having some troubles. He's really like, and I start fucking giggling. I was like, that was me doing. He goes, no bullshit. That was real. And I go, no, like this. And I make with my hands, make this fart noise. He's like, you son of a bitch. I was so embarrassed walking out of that bathroom thinking, because you don't want to make eye contact with that guy.
No, you gotta get the fuck out.
A couple years ago,
You don't even want to be.
A couple years ago, we went down to Billings. The World of Outlaws sprint car races were there, and there was me and my brother Dylan, his wife, and our friend Lance, and we all know Lance, and he's quite the character. And it's in between races, and there's a line. There's 12 fucking toilets in there, 12 urinals, and there's a line out the door, and people lined up inside. Lance is behind me, and I get up there and I start taking a leak. And Lance comes up, puts his hands on my shoulders, and leans over and looks over. And he goes, "Ooh, that's a nice one." Cleared the fucking bathroom. Just fucking cleared it. Everybody just scattered, and like, get the fuck out of here. It was so goddamn funny. Ooh, that's a nice one.
Just walk in and start taking a shit in a urinal. That'll clear it out too.
Fucking Kingpin style, reading the paper.
the first time that I've ever seen a real live upper decker was in the women's mint bar bathroom.
Interesting. Was that something you
Yeah,
had to
for
deal
real.
with?
Cleaning up. Nah, I think I might have got a stick and scraped her into the toilet, and that was as far as I went.
That's
Red was
brutal.
probably pissed, but I don't know if I
So
can't
a
remember.
girl did it then,
I
you
can't.
think?
Who
I had
does
to have.
that?
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
yeah, that's how. There's.
I'm-
You don't poop
women
in
amaze me
groups and
every
not
day.
be a nasty creature.
I guess,
No, I'm just
right?
not to throw them all under the bus, but how
Yeah.
many times you see men just go, "Hey, come to the bathroom with me"?
No shit.
I mean, you know what they're doing. They're in there taking selfies and doing their makeup, and oh my god, he touched my leg, and whatever they're doing in there. But
oh my God, he touched my leg.
Or
And Helga's like, hey, how
You
about
just-
you lift the top of this
you hit
toilet
that
off
hole.
and
You
take
hit that hole.
No
Don't worry, I'll
shit.
I'll poop up here.
Dude, I'm gonna poop right here. Just scoot over.
Slide forward a little bit.
Just right behind you.
And
is
probably
all.
blame it on the man in their life.
Here, let me sit on your shoulders.
Jeez. Do you want to
I don't
play
know what that
battle
conversation.
shits?
I mean, like, it was
I imagine
clearly on
tequila was
purpose.
involved.
I know it was clearly on purpose, but like,
Well, you don't accidentally take an upper decker. That doesn't.
I mean,
That's not an accident.
unless you're fucking 7 foot tall,
Whoops! Look what I did. Right.
unless you went to pull down, it's one of those like where you're racing to the bathroom and you get in, you pull down, and there it is.
Yeah, but what?
But you gotta be a
Oh,
lot taller than
off of it?
me.
Shit.
Was the top off of
What
it
possessed you to?
before, or-
Yeah, what possessed you to be like?
why are
I
you
should
checking
just,
the upper
I
deck?
should look in the back of this toilet and see what's in there.
No. They didn't go in the actual water.
Oh, they shit
They
on
just
top,
top of the
toilet.
toilet.
Of the
Holy
toilet.
That's not even. That's like an on top of the.
Yeah,
upper
that's not an
decker,
upper.
like-
Yeah, exactly. That's above
That's,
the
that's
stadium,
like
I
a.
think.
That's like on
That's
the
a fucking.
roof.
That's a top shelf.
That's the top,
top
of the
shelf
radio
shit.
tower. one.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, what
What in the?
Good for her.
I know.
That's up.
Inhuman.
She looked healthy. I didn't.
You pissed her off. She got you back.
No, I don't
You
think
were
that
the
was.
You were the bartender.
I don't think that was it. I never make anybody mad. I don't know.
Why else would you do that?
Maybe you gave her the wrong drink.
You
and
suppose
a
she was sitting
psycho.
there like, you know what? Fuck.
I said
that.
Manhattan 3 times.
Fuck
He
Red.
gave me a screwdriver.
You know,
I'm gonna go shit
shitting
on top
everywhere.
of the toilet.
yeah, fuck Red. I'm gonna go shit in the toilet. No, she was like, fuck that bartender who is not serving me drinks because there's 800 people in here.
I rarely-
And he's started down there at that end of the bar working his way down, and I'm too impatient. I'm gonna go shit on the top of his
I'm
toilet.
gonna go
No.
teach him. I'm gonna poop right on top of it.
I bet.
I
I,
had a
don't
burrito
know.
for dinner. I mean, this is all falling into place.
No, it was
This is
clearly
meant to
cereal.
happen.
No, I don't-
We have been
Weird
talking
shit.
about shit.
it was weird. No, it was. Like I
Spring
said,
is
I've seen some
sprung,
weird
you know? We
things.
talk about some shit.
But when you work at like the Men Bar is like the busiest late night bar in Malta, where everybody's at 2 a.m. type of. You get the drunkest of the drunk. You get the
Right.
stupid shit, and that's what to me makes it
Shittiest
kind
of
of
the
fun. Yeah, but you see some weird shit.
One time,
I seen the one thing said
Crazy.
I don't know what just reminded me of this. Oh, sorry.
that says tip your bartender. He knows your wife and your girlfriend.
True story.
One time,
And he knows where you shit.
Yeah.
One time, Travis and I are sitting at a bar in Havre, and I just fresh off a bad car wreck about a month and a half, and my nasal cavities are collapsed, and I can't breathe out of my nose. So I was constantly picking my nose. I was plugged up all the time, and it started off with this. So here I am, and Travis and I were young, single men, and Travis talks to some gals. And I'm fucking over there kind of picking my nose. And he's like, hey, Shane. And I turn around, and I'm like 3 knuckles deep in my nose. And he's like, what the fuck? And these girls.
You are a cock-blocking motherfucker.
No, this is the best part. These girls were just
No,
like,
he's the best wingman
they
ever.
kind
imagine
of
so.
they kind of just rolled their eyes, whatever.
He's
And
a
then
knuckle
headed
dude.
out the door. But one girl stayed there and was talking with Travis, and I'm sitting there drinking beer. And Travis is sitting there, and he's sitting in a bar stool, and it's got the metal ring on the bottom, and his foot's on it.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting like so. Noah's sitting here with this other bar stool in the middle. I got my foot on her bar stool.
And
You know, just
he's just
just
sitting-
chilling. You know, drinking with one foot on
And
the
he
next
goes,
bar stool.
Putting out the vibe.
At first he goes, he kind of leans back towards me. He's like, I think this chick just farted. I'm like, what? And like the music's not going. It's not like there's a boom, 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 vibrating shit. And I'm like, do you smell shit? And he's like, no, like the chair just vibrated.
I felt the. You felt the. Whoop, like
Oh, down on your-
Like you would if you were on the couch with somebody.
Yeah.
And anyways, I'm like, whatever. We don't smell poo. And he all of a sudden he leans back. He's like, she did it again. No more than he gets that out of his mouth. I'm like, oh fuck, she shit her pants.
It got. It was.
Dang.
Needless to say, Shane took her
She
home.
legit shit her.
That's
Shane
brutal.
took her.
So you're saying there's a chance,
Right.
I may have.
It's just shit, light sprinkles.
and that's how Shane and Amanda. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm joking, Amanda.
Just joshing.
That was way before that.
You know, a girl might go for the bad guy or something, but if you got Shane on your side, you know you're gonna look good at some point during the night.
We used to go by the old saying, there is
Shane
no,
hit default. We got
There-
The default.
there's no, we used to go by the saying, there's no shame in Shane's game. You know, it's just as long as everybody's having fun.
Sure. Not hurting, taking shits on top of toilets or hurting feelings.
I've been an asshole, but I've never been that big of an asshole
Yeah,
to
that's
somebody.
just brutal.
That's just as rude gets.
I don't even think I could make myself do that.
Oh,
I couldn't.
If I was mad at
I
someone,
don't.
like,
I mean, maybe if I'm real mad at somebody, I guess,
I
but
couldn't even do it. I'd just be like, oh my God.
I'd feel pretty awkward that I might get it on my own shoes
I was
at
just
that
gonna say
point. Like,
that.
you gotta have some fucking precise
I'd be
aim.
worried.
That's,
Good
you got to
chance
have
to
a
leave
partner in
evidence,
there
for
holding
sure.
your balance.
That's what I mean.
You gotta hope it's the right
Sitting on their
kind
shoulders,
of
holding the
shit.
hands over the top.
Pinch it off, Helen. That shit to
Come on, they're gonna catch us.
Come back 3 more inches. All right, go. It's like a buddy in the crane game.
God, I hope,
Spotter, you need a spotter to get the good prize.
God, I hope this
Go
is,
forward.
I hope this is solid.
Yeah, no kidding. You gotta be sure it's the right kind of
Travis,
shit.
Travis walks in there and the wall's splatter painted like it's 1992.
If they're mad about it. They'd be bummed out that it was solid.
Right.
Yeah,
it
you want
was
that
a
to be
log.
running.
It was a log.
If they're
I mean, it
that
wasn't a-
fucking nutty
So
to
this
shit
chick
on the
either had to
toilet.
do it right at the at closing time, because if she did it at 9:30 at
Had
night,
to.
somebody would have come out and been like, "Dude, somebody shit on the back of the toilet."
Yep.
I've got more
Planned
to tell
it
you,
perfectly. Travis made her mad at some point. She's like, I'm gonna fucking shit.
Yeah.
All over.
What
there,
a weird
right
flex,
before.
though, for a woman to do. I don't.
Oh, dude.
Dude,
It's happened before out on the street.
no,
I mean,
no
come
offense
on.
to you ladies out there,
People are
but
shitting everywhere.
ladies are the dirtiest people on fucking
Oh
planet
man,
Earth.
Shane, you're sexist.
Like, no, they.
I can get the difference in the bathrooms is
I've cleaned bathrooms before.
definitely a big difference.
It
Yeah.
is a big difference.
Cars, you get.
They've got
inside-
more to deal with, though, to be fair.
That's true.
But you
That's
get
true.
you get inside a man's car, and then crawl inside a woman's car, and I don't know what it is. It's like maybe you're just so busy, ladies, that you just don't have time to pick up that Arby's bag out of the back, throw in the garbage can. You just throw them all
There's a
in the
lamp
back.
in the
and
back seat.
Keep
so-
them for about 6 months.
I can't say that though. Carol's car is cleaner than mine all the time. Like she's fucking.
There's an exception
She's
to the rule, right?
she's neat. Carol cleans the shit out of everything, which works good for me because I'm pretty scatterbrained. I mean, you know, I'm more of a doer than a
You got a lot
stop
of
and clean shit up
irons in the
guy.
fire.
Than
There's still nothing worse than children in a vehicle.
oh yeah, French fries rammed in or imminent, whatever. And you
they haven't
you always
figured out
say
the value with
you
it
always
yet,
say,
but-
oh, I'm not gonna let him eat in my car. 47
Yeah,
miles down the
right.
road, you go, here's a cookie.
Well, yeah, it's one of
Shut
them-
up.
It's one of them deal. It's like, well, I don't want my kid to eat in my new vehicle, and then it's like, hey babe, where do you want to eat? Fast food. We ain't taking.
We
these
gotta
little
hurry up.
bastards
Yeah.
anywhere.
Taking these little bastards
Yep.
anywhere.
How did we even get by when you didn't have cell phones and TVs and like our current ride has a DVD player in it, which DVD is even outdated now, but
Yeah.
it like
How did we get by? We were in arm reach of our parents. And if you were fucking off, you got the old
whop.
knock it off.
Knuckles to the forehead.
Or when they slam on the brakes and they just throw their arm out and you catch that in the jaw.
Right?
That's why you can take a hit, I think. I like
Oh,
And
man.
nobody was wearing a seatbelt
traffic
either.
stop, you
know,
fly
just
forward.
slam the brakes.
I remember once in Gillette,
Bash your head into
like
the
my
chair.
car seat was just this. I remember it like it was just this gray thing. Like it was so simple.
I had one of those
I could
flip-down
like
latches
flip it
with the
over
metal.
myself and latch it in. And be like, all right,
It's like a
let's fuck
Sounds
plastic,
safe.
like a
Well,
plastic lawn chair with
yeah,
no legs on
basically.
it. The back seat.
Pretty much.
Hey,
and I
here's your
remember
booster
one
seat.
day I fucking unclicked it from the main seat belt and was just like sitting, fucking moving, you know, and my mom slammed on the. I flew up and smacked my face off like the fucking radio. She was like, Jesus.
Your mom did that on purpose.
Oh, dude,
Now we got satellite radio.
No,
This is
Sit
great.
down, you little bastard. You
I don't
give him
know.
one of the brake checks.
One day her eyes were crossed. She got kicked by a mule. And I went back to
I
work.
well, my parents back in the day, they had like it was a 78 Chevy single cab long box, and my dad had one of those rodeo toppers on it. Not like the full topper, just the sleeper
Yeah,
cab
like the-
topper.
yeah.
So a lot of times me and my brother or sister would ride in the back there, you know, just sleep and bag it up and no air conditioning, sweat our ass off. But I remember as a little kid, I had my car seat was one of those car seats that was just like the fucking Ferris wheel, where it's a big, it was a metal thing covered with a pad, but it swung over the top of your head and just clicked in. It didn't have, like, you didn't have seat belts and 5-point
Wasn't
harness the way it is
fascinating.
now. No, if you slammed on the brake, you just bounced your head off that pad and kept going.
Dude.
But
It's only a concussion.
How the fuck did we live? So here we are, my dad, my mom, Steve, Wendy. So the parents are
it's
in
no
the
wonder
cab.
they didn't kill you.
Parents are in the cab of a regular cab pickup. All the Carnahan kids and all the Simonton kids in the box of the pickup. I don't know where the fuck Sean was. I mean, he was born then. But we're heading to Zortman. 50 miles south. Regular cab pickup.
Oh yeah, jump in the
Bunch
back.
of kids in the back. And we're handing beer through the slider back window to the parents in the front. And I distinctly remember this beer commercial and my parents sitting in the front go, reindeer beer. And I'm like, I just think about that the other day. I'm like, fuck did we live through that shit?
I remember
But
what,
if we got up in the box of that pickup, the brakes got hit and we
Yep.
got our
Wham,
ass
you
beat.
got
Like,
slammed
you
right
sat-
into the front.
And it's
Sit
not like they
down.
were hauling ass. They weren't going 80, 50 miles an hour. You can tuck and roll and walk that one off. But it's not like we were, driving like morons. They weren't shit-faced drunk, They're just a couple beers on the way out. But if you did that to this day,
oh,
fuck,
you're in
You're-
prison.
state penitentiary.
Fuck.
Or you can get 28 DUIs and never see any time.
Yeah,
Depends
on which way
weird,
you're cutting.
man.
That's the truth.
No shit, you
think
can't even fucking give your kid a good ass kicking in public in certain places without them thinking you're abusing your children.
Oh, and they're
Or
being
without fear that they're calling child
yeah,
services.
they're being a
Showing
little
up
like
at
you're in a
your house.
public place in Billings and they're being a little turd and you're like, God.
Right,
how do
and
you-
it's not about beating your child. It's
What do you-
about getting your child's
Yeah.
attention so they focus and
Yeah.
cut the shit out.
What do you- I mean, my dad would have just rapped me one and been like,
Oh
"What?"
no, fucking shit.
I never got an ass whooping I didn't deserve.
Me
Oh,
neither. Me neither.
absolutely.
And I'll say that to this day. I didn't. I mean,
I
I
never thought I was abused one time.
It's not
but
like
know
I was
getting
just
my ass.
my
sit
last one was when I was
Right.
15. He spanked me right in front of one of his good friends, and I was like, I was so humiliated that I knew I was being a dick,
Right.
but I didn't.
Dude, I was.
I don't want to be whooped on.
Yeah,
I was a
like, come
sophomore
on.
in high school and just lost to this kid I've been beating all year in wrestling. And my dad thought I had ignored one of the coaches talking to me, but I didn't. They were done talking to me, and I was fucking mad that I lost. And so he followed me out. Before we even got out, he fucking grabbed me by the back of the neck and like you said, like embarrassed me in front of the whole
Yep.
fuck. Like I was good about. I was pissed off and throwing a fit, but as far as everyone
you
could,
lost, though.
as far as everyone could see, I walked over to my coaches, grabbed my shit, and was walking out of the gym, and he fucking grabbed me and I remember getting out into the hallway and I stiffened up, getting ready to, and he's like, I fucking dare you. And I was like,
I will
God
end you,
damn it.
little man.
No.
In between the
Just
summer
took it.
between my
That was
soft
the last time he ever did anything like
summer
that.
between my
Became
sophomore
a
and
man
junior
kind of
year.
that day, too, sure.
Between my sophomore and junior year, we were building a pond in our backyard. And Dad and I are out there and we're fucking shoveling away, doing whatever. And my buddy Justin, my buddy fucking Grant showed up. And they're like, hey, are you ready to go? Whatever, let's go out cruising. And I'm like, yeah, let me run in. I'll run through the shower and we'll go. It's like 5:30 on a Saturday. And Dad's like, oh, whoa, no. We got 30 more minutes of work. We're fucking done with this thing. And I'm like, I don't fuck care. My buddies are here. And my buddies are like, no, you can finish doing what you're doing. And I'm like, fuck that.
You already put your foot down.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I want to take a shower and we're going to go. And my dad's like, no, we're going to finish our job. And 16-year-old me with two of my buddies there, I puffed my chest up. Boom. I'm going to take my old man. And he kind of looked at me like, jump. So here I go, and I'm going to I'm going to
Shane's always been a swing first kind of guy.
I'm going to want him. And I didn't
Yeah.
get my hand from my hip to my belly button.
You were for real swinging on it.
And he didn't swing at me or nothing. He kind of leaned and grabbed me and bent me over his leg. I'm 16 fucking years old,
That's what
mind
this-
you.
Spanked your ass.
And
That's the way mine went, too.
Spanked me in front of my buddies. And my buddies were like, oh, this is fucking gold. So I finished getting my fucking spanking.
You don't even want to hang out with your buddies at that point.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just to stay home.
Dad's like, are you ready to finish? I'm like, yes, sir. So we finished the job, and Dad's like, well, go ahead and take a shower, and you can go out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking going out. So thinking I'm not going out. So I run through the shower, get dressed, and we go out. I should have stayed home.
Just get ready.
Every fucking place we stop. Get out.
Retelling
Everybody's
the
standing
story.
there. Everybody's standing there like, Shane just got fucking spanked by his dad. It was the fucking best thing.
At that time, Shane
Spanked
was
him.
like 120 pounds, too. He was a skinny
bro.
little fucker back then, yeah.
Spanked him like
Still
he was.
bowed up though.
Yeah.
Spanked him like he was just a little fucking kid. Yeah. I'm like, just take me home. No, we're going everywhere.
Telling
This is ride or die
everyone.
tonight.
Mine was I was changing oil on one of my first vehicles, and I'm underneath there, and I think it was my old pickup, and my dad's he had a buddy there or whatever, and I'm changing
Hatchback.
oil. No, it was I think it was one of my I don't even remember what it was, but I'm under there, and he's like, and you know, he goes, the oil filter's right there. Make sure you pull it, blah blah blah, whatever. I was like, I know, Dad, like. And I was on a creeper underneath the car when I said this. He grabbed me by my ankle and just went whoop, pulled me out, whap whap whap, right in front of one of his good buddies, and I'm so fucking embarrassed and mad. I just get the hell out
Why
of
are you
there.
gonna do that in front of your friends, Dad?
I could never look that dude in the face the same again. I couldn't go to his business.
can
And I'm
never
a
be a man in
sophomore, and
front of
I've,
To this day, the guy probably still sees you. He's like,
no, he's dead now.
oh.
But
It's okay now.
it felt pretty stupid for a long time for me to even run into him in the store and he'd be like, God damn it.
It's crazy how somebody can take your manhood that fast.
Oh yeah, you were.
Should.
I went right back to being a little kid.
Sure. And at that age, you kind of are still.
and that's
you
true.
are.
You're
Oh, yeah,
still
you
a
are.
child.
But you don't think
15, but you got that tood or whatever. And I thought I was. I don't know. It was one of those. I was more or less. Yeah, I know how to change my own oil.
so.
Like,
Not dumb, Dad.
fuck. Shut up, Dad.
I've been checking the neighbor girl's oil for weeks. I can change my own oil.
The neighbor girl recently passed away at 102 years old, so I don't think I had any.
Well,
Was my neighbor my entire way
You
growing
guys-
up.
You know how,
And now I live a block away from there.
like
Right.
you.
I've moved like 3 times, and I've still lived on 6th Street or just closer.
No shit.
I mean, I've lived out of Malta too, but every time I've came back to Malta, I've been in this vicinity, except for once.
you know what 6th Street reminds me of? An Offspring song.
Oh yeah, I know. You've played it for me before and said this reminds me of 6th Street.
Yeah. Just,
But I don't remember the name of the song now.
yeah.
It's the fucking street.
It's the longest one.
It's the best.
So if you want a
bike riding
longboard,
street.
if you want a
Yeah. Oh, that's a
longboard,
good street.
you take off out of my
This
neighbor's
hill's right
driveway
here.
that's
Right.
built like this,
Right.
and you can take off from there and go all the way down here, turn the corner, and head down 6th Street, and not have to push once
have to
until you
kick
get
it up.
past King's or Simonton's.
It's up at the top of this hill too. It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
This driveway gives you a good head start now that it's built at a damn angle. If I come out of this driveway, I can go all the way down to which is a 2 blocks away, 2.5 blocks away, down to the football field without pushing.
Without a kick.
Just jump
Fuck yeah,
on and
dude. Well, I grew
gate
up
it.
just
They need to get out and
I
sweep
got
the
some
fucking
100
streets.
millimeter wheels on.
Right. I've seen the wheels that you've got.
I was giving my next door neighbor across the street some shit here last week. I just went out and longboarded for the first time all year, and like 10 minutes later, he pulls his work truck out of his thing, and big old clods of mud all the way
Yeah.
down the thing.
Right.
I mean, it's a joke. We live on
Sure.
Fifth Avenue, so they're gone in no time because people drive. This
bet.
art street, people
Crushes
haul
them up.
ass.
That's the other fucking.
But I was like, oh,
Central.
oh, oh. It's so, give him some help. I told this old lady, I was like, God damn it, I went to go longboard the other day. No, I didn't. I just went, and then I looked and I watched him drive out. I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm going to die on that rock.
No kidding.
No
Plus,
hard feelings. They're good neighbors.
It's not good. It's not good skateboarding streets right now. They need to get out.
No. You bought kind of
I know.
I should let you ride that other one that I got. I got another one it's kind of big like a cruiser board,
Mm-hmm.
but it's got some real big kind of soft wheels on it, and it's almost like a longboard, but it's still got the shape of like one of these behind me
Sure.
here, and it's fun as shit. And you can hop curbs and like if you hit a little bit of grass, you can go across it. And,
Right.
But they're fun, man. I almost like. I love the park, but I almost like longboarding or just even skating down the street and hitting curbs because if you can not push
Sure.
as much as I like the park.
And there's more to see.
The Offspring, the kids aren't all right.
Yep. Yep. If you guys run out of beer, there's Morgan and Amaretto and
the whole-
no, I got.
The whole
I'm
beginning.
drinking a vodka.
When we were young, the
There's
future
vodka.
was so bright. The old neighborhood is so alive. Every kid on the whole damn street was gonna make it big and not be beat. Yeah, that's fucking 6th Street. All of us
Well-
that lived on it.
It's the longest street in Malta. I mean, across the town.
That's not sense.
Then it turned into
Yeah.
the Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
We're not dreaming here tonight, John.
Shit, I don't know.
Well, no, we're on Fifth
I
Avenue now.
fucking
We're
lived in
good.
those
Oh, okay.
apartments
We're
right
good.
there.
We
for a long
upgraded
time.
from
I have
Fifth.
no sense of direction.
We used
Yeah.
to get some fucking wicked football games from all the kids.
Oh, us too.
On 6th Street shit over in that big lawn and those apartments because my
Mm-hmm.
dad owned them. Oh, just brutal. That fence was broken within the first 2 years because we'd tackle kids through it.
So, my dad grew up in the house next door, And he said there were so many kids down in this area.
That's a big yard they got next door too.
So many kids down in this area, but there was the old baseball fields down there.
Mm-hmm.
He said everybody'd go over there, and he said there'd be fucking enough kids to field 4 fucking teams playing out there all day, every summer.
You know how kids do it now? They go home and they text their buddy and they go, "You on Fortnite yet? You
Oh,
on
man.
this? Blah blah blah." You
There's
on
a
that?
group of kids right down across the street and down the block on 4th Street. Like every fucking night they're playing football, like 6, 10 of them. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
I see them. I'm like, that's fucking sweet.
There's a
Never see kids doing that.
a trampoline's one of those toys that is kind of timeless.
the crowd.
Keeps kids out for. I remember my parents having to sign waivers though, for other
sure.
kids that would come over before.
I'm sure all
Where
those kids
they
that you taught skateboarding
break
last year
their-
had to sign a waiver.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But that's like
We
us.
we only smashed some teeth and knocked one out. It
It's
was,
not like there was I don't remember a whole pile of us playing sports as kids. I mean, yeah,
but they all can't wait to go back. So
Right. That's what
we
it is.
played baseball at the baseball fields, of course, during
I played
Little League
every
season.
sport there was
I
growing
know,
up.
during Little League season.
Fuck, so
But
bad.
when it wasn't practice time, we weren't doing sports. We were just fucking off on our bikes or
We played football a lot next door to my
Fuck yeah.
or meeting
touch
at,
football or.
meeting at the canal,
If
jumping
you
off
weren't
the
playing
fucking
sports, you
canal.
were outside
yeah.
at least. Fuck
I was
Yeah,
oh yeah,
something.
like you said, you'd
Fuck
be
yeah.
at the canal swimming or doing like we'd build checkboards,
Yeah.
stash them in the weeds, and not let our parents know that we were actually checkboarding. You'd be like, "Hey, can I go to the canal?" And almost
Yeah,
not until
go
you were
down
a
to the
freshman did
check.
they even care. But
Or you could die.
yeah,
drown.
the check would get a good wave in there, so you'd build these boards, kind of like a makeshift surfboard, wakeboard.
knee-
Well, you'd tie a
None
rope
of us
off the
had
check.
boats, so we didn't have knee boards.
Yeah,
so.
none of it. These are literally we'd go and you'd design your own checkboard out of plywood and fucking, and then you'd run a rope off the railing and run it out like a little ski rope, so you'd swim in with your board and you'd get it and then you get on there and you could fucking kneeboard in the check with your checkboard and just shred. But
But it was so
if your
violent.
parents ever found out because there's
Oh,
been a couple
man.
kids that
That's
died
what
in
I
there.
The
got.
check
Cool.
was off.
So
fucking
like,
limits,
yeah, you
dude,
didn't.
like,
I don't. My mom would still be pissed if I told her I was
Right.
swimming in the check
Yeah,
today.
you were
a
pushing
kid-
the
Better
line
not.
if you-
We had
kid
the
that my-
sweetest checkboards.
A kid that my dad and your mom grew up with actually was in the old check and got underneath and bonked his head, and they didn't find him until like out by Bowdoin.
Right.
And it was still violent even because we were still doing it in the old checks. And it's all they put what they call riprap rock, which is all oversized
big
rock
fucking
and concrete
rocks.
and shit in there. And if you did fall off, it'd suck you under for a minute and then pop you
You'd always
back
do
up.
this.
And
And
if
just-
you weren't careful,
you'd
you were
bang
gonna
your head.
bang your fucking dome off.
Yeah,
it.
I always remember as soon as I'd go off, I'd just
Fuck
and let
yeah.
it and then let it swim out. You know,
You had,
like
you had to have good form, or you could get fucking, like you said, hit your rock, or just get fucking
There was
constantly.
Tumble.
There was a
turned
girl
up in
too.
there.
There was a girl that caught her leg on like a piece of iron or something.
Yeah,
cut
I
her
got
open.
a
She got
nasty shit.
staph, and she was scared to tell her parents. Remember, because she
Because
didn't
she
want
was in
she
the
didn't want to
canal.
say I was fucking off in a canal and I got cut, and she got really bad infected, and they had to put her in the hospital for X amount of time, and then they're like, yeah, I was in a canal. Yeah, it was a bad deal.
well, I got a cabin on the Milk River too, so I grew up. I mean, I'm not even kidding. As a young little kid, I was swimming in there,
Sure.
but where my cabin is, unless it's flooding, the river runs pretty fucking slow where we're at, and it's like nipple deep all the way across. And during the summer, it gets pretty warm. It's kind of a sandbar. It's all great, just as long as you don't hit one of our snagged fishing lines or something, you know. But here in the last few years, we've had across the way a full cottonwood fall down in it twice, 2 different times, and they last a few years before they finally get ripped and floating away and whatnot. But we used to build these jumps off of there. I'd go dig it's kind of a nice run in on there, and we'd dig a jump and you'd jump bicycles or whatever. But it was never deep enough unless it was starting to flood. So it was the only time you could hit these jumps is when it's first of the year, cold as shit.
Cold as shit.
And I remember building like the best one I'd ever had built. We started out. It was a slip and slide with a jump into it, but it was my cousin Nate, and he was young and ready. I was like, I'll dig this thing. You hit it first, type of. And then I realized how cold they were in it. And our buddy fact checker Brandon, I'll say his name because he's been on here, and he goes off and he's standing out there going to catch the bicycle that Nate's going. And
He's gonna catch the bicycle.
yeah, and this is before pre-puberty. Brandon's kind of a little chunky kid.
Sure.
He's out there and he's shivering. He's got back to me. I was like, Brandon, we got an old video. This is like first cell phones. I go, Brandon, you crying? Yeah, it's fucking cool. And he's out there.
Goddamn right, I'm crying. You stupid bastard.
Oh, it was hilarious. And that was the point. I was like, well, I built the jump. I'm not hitting that one.
Oh, shit. Well, I guess that ain't gonna work.
But it's a cool little spot. It's just up north at
Well, you were
Nickel
just-
Acres.
jumping snowboards off your roof this winter. Or was that last winter?
Yeah, last winter.
Last winter.
Yeah, we dug it.
Yeah.
Well, I had to shovel my roof so it
I
didn't
flipped over the
fucking
fence
cave
a
in,
couple
and yeah, and we dug a. How it started is I just started shoveling everything off the roof, and all of a sudden I'm looking down. I'm like,
Look what I'm making.
that's right there. That's right. So then
It's like I just took a shit on top of the toilet.
it became a whole yeah no shit. Then it became a whole thing of pushing all the snow off into a pile, and we just you build a jump. You've always wanted to build a jump off your roof as a little
you
kid.
knew good and goddamn well what you were doing.
So I keep doing all these things. Like I'm always out there, and it's probably the more the kid in me, and that thrills me more. I'm always out there building jumps and shit for my boy, his skate ramps or whatever. And he skates pretty good, but he's he's so much different than me. He's the most cautious kid in the world. He'll do you think I can do it? You think I can do it? You'll send a dummy off 10 times and make sure it lands right before he goes, all right, I got it. And then he'll go, and then he gets it, and he rarely ever falls. And kudos to
Well, he's
him.
well calculated,
But I was the complete opposite.
Sure,
I'm
you're
like,
just going.
I'll smash a couple times, then we'll adjust,
Sure.
and then so
Do it. Think about it later. That's how my 2 youngest daughters are.
just
They just do it.
just go.
Balls out.
My daughters are
They
the
just think
opposite
about
of
it
what
exactly.
Well, Brandon.
we say. So at the-
Lily's like fucking Braden, but the younger two,
My
they'll
kids-
smash
it's-
their head into the wall and then think about
My
what
kid's
it
like
hurts
me,
later.
just lands on his feet all the fucking time when he shouldn't. But he's got some insane balance. It's
your kid does have
ridiculous.
freaky balance.
Weird.
So does he. Kind of. I don't know if it's that he's got good balance or that he's just like big and slops a lot of shit out. Like there's so many times I thought I was witnessing his death, and then all of a sudden he rides around the corner, and you're like, what the? How the?
Are you real?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so back to the fucking snow jump off the roof. All the kids and Noah and I and a couple other buddies or whatever, we went off it that one day. We made kind of a spectacle of
Sure.
it and did it that day when it was fun. And here, like a day or two later, my daughter had wanted to go off it, and she's 7 or whatever, 8 at the time. She's pretty little,
Yeah.
but she's brave as shit. And I'm at the top of my roof. I mean, we're talking the roof of my house, and I got my daughter in a sled, and I know there's a downslope down there, and I know it's worked a lot of times, and it's gonna land pretty perfect. But it'd been like 2 or 3 days after it got warm, and the fucking downslope had shrunk a couple feet. And I'm like, she's still gonna hit the sweet spot, I hope. And before we were having to give just a little bit of a shove off the roof to be able to just to get the nice air off the jump. I mean, there's physics involved.
Sure.
And so I give Savannah, we're at the top. I'm like, you ready to go? She goes, yep. I'm like, hang on to here. And I go, if it gets ugly, put your feet out when you're in the air, and you can land on your feet type of thing. I fucking shoot her off there, and she just tucks it. Like you were trying to go fast on a water slide. She's got more form than my son did coming off it. And she hits, and I'm like, shit, she missing the downslope almost completely. And she hit right at the bottom of the fucking downslope. Wow. Yard sale. And I'm like,
up the other side.
and from
another ramp.
from the top of where I'm at, she goes off and she disappears, and I'm like, I hope the neighbors didn't see me just kill my daughter.
I really love that girl.
I run out there. She's rolled over the snow, jumps up. I'm all right. She's all pumped about it. Did you video it?
Wow.
I'm like, I missed it. I missed it on video, and I was like, I literally.
I thought I just killed you.
When I let her go, I was like, oh shit. Here comes
It's funny how she does that. She came walking out of Lily's room one time at my house and just out of nowhere, just completely fucking trips. Like, I seen her hit her fucking head right
Yep.
off the floor. Whack. I'm all right. I'm like, Jesus. Are you sure I'm not? Like,
I said this.
You hurt me.
She came running around our old house one time, and my tailgate was down. They'd been racing around the house, and then I unloaded some shit or something and had my tailgate down. She come running around, and it hit her right in the neck. And I mean, literally football tackles her, lays her out on the concrete, splits her neck open right here, and she, same thing, jumps up. I'm okay. I'm like, no, come here, let me look at this. And I look, and it's like swollen, and it's fucking bleeding a little bit. And I'm like, honey, no, I'm good. She's still playing, just gone. If that was my boy, we're going to the fucking hospital.
Sure.
no shit.
Like, it's-
Same with Lily.
And he's telling you what I think I'm going to tell the doctors what they need to do.
I'm pretty sure I severed my main artery
Right,
and my
exactly.
blah, 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 blah.
My
I'm doing all-
jugulars, my
I need to know
trachea is
everything
crushed,
before we
okay?
No offense to him. That's good. I mean, he's smart as fuck, but
for sure.
And
Just
so is she,
different,
but she's just
they're in different lanes.
oh man. And my youngest is even scarier and braver yet. Like
She's got a goddamn blue blanket, right?
oh, she's fucking nuts. Like I mean, she loves to pull the coffee table further and further away from the couch and jump further and further and further as far as she can go. And there's been a few times she's tumbled and you're like, oh. But I think that's the thing is with your first kid, you always
Yeah.
that thing falls and hits his head. Even like you're like, oh, you okay? And then
So
like
I've only
by
got
your
the one
third
kid.
one, you realize they're all right. They
they're gonna be
bounce.
fine. But I don't know, I've only got the one kid. But when she
Yeah.
was learning how to walk, I went to Kmart and bought those, the inch high foam everywhere.
Yep.
She was learning to walk because I was like,
Yeah, you were panicked.
yeah.
I had round corners on everything for
Sure.
Braden. I mean, it was. And then here the other day, which
You got these ones running into tailgates.
yeah,
Yeah, sending them
go-
off the roof.
Rhea goes
90
Rhea goes,
miles an hour.
Rhea goes nuts. The other day. She's jumping. She's getting real tired and she's going crazy jumping on the bed, But like, I'm like, easy, you're going too high. You're gonna fly off. You're going too high. And she hits the corner of the bed, slips but falls, and it looks like she's going to her head. She rotates over and lands on all fours. It was totally accidental. I mean, it was all just the natural flip of it. You're like, woo!
Speaking of kids, guys,
She's okay. She's golden. She didn't.
I got a kid that will not go to sleep, and I got to go home and deal with that.
You got a baby Shane, huh?
I do.
Dang it.
But I just figured I'd let you guys know I'm going to close out for me, but you guys keep rolling on. So
All right, we'll take a quick break. I got to pee, and we can come back with this thing. Damn, I've had the computer off long enough. We had to type in the password.
Whoa.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back. And we're back, and Larry's gone.
Laris.
Fucking Larry.
Lactating Larry. That was one of the
Gone.
Johnny nicknames he hit him with.
Lactating Larry.
Yeah, leisure shoot suit Larry. You remember that fucking game
do.
back in the day?
I do.
When like you got CD-ROMs. Yeah. Anyway, Johnny hit him with like fucking 10 of them. Well, maybe even like 6. I don't know. But Johnny's were so much stronger than Shane's that Caleb and I couldn't even hardly podcast anymore. We're just letting him go.
And it didn't appear to be so. As
Oh.
you're leading up to it, it looked like Shane was going to dominate.
Oh yeah, no. The whole time Johnny's looking at me like Shane's doing this, and he's just scribbling away the whole time. And Johnny's over here, be like, every once in a while, throw his hands in there and write one down, thinking. But it was it's the timing.
Sure.
The timing fucking drilled Shane so hard. But anyway, so before we broke into this, or back from the break, Noah and I, and we were all talking about your kids watching movies. Like now, movies before the digital era, or ones that even still in the digital era, I guess, but ones that, as a parent, are old, but they were good ones, and trying to get your kids to watch one now instead of whatever, like their favorite YouTube star.
Sure.
Oh, it's
YouTube videos are terrible.
yeah. So we anyway, like the other day, I made him watch School of Rock. Like I was telling Noah. Noah's a big Jack Black fan, and
Sure.
Love him.
it was everything I had to lay there and not squirt a tear. And I'm pretty sure Carol probably cried twice in it. Like when the glory of like, hey, they kicked the school's ass, and they went and he
Fucking
goes
A,
and forms
man.
a band, and they're like, that's my kid.
Yeah, that's
and like
classic.
when you look back and you see your kids both into it, like going, I was like, fuck yeah.
Oh, man.
It was a good one. And like I said, Cool Runnings. That's always been a
Right.
long time, awesome movie. But
Fuck yeah.
So I've been watching since I'm divorced. I don't get to spend as much time with my daughter. For my birthday, she bought me this. It's a movie bucket list poster. And as you watch the movies, you scratch them off,
I've seen those, but never. I've thought I need one.
She bought
Probably.
it.
Nice.
So it's she's into Tarantino now.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
we're
Oh,
watching
really?
movies from the 60s that
Right.
I
Good
haven't
movies,
seen
eh?
before.
Well, and there's so many that like you've heard were a cult classic or something that like, and there's a lot of them I haven't seen.
Sure.
But a big one for me is when I'm bartending, I can flip bottles and shit, and everybody goes, "Ooh, cocktail! You think
Right.
you're Tom Cruise?" I've never seen it.
Okay.
I still have never
You
sat down
probably
and
refuse
watched.
to watch it, too.
I'm like, they're like, bullshit. You have. I'm like, no, I didn't like. It's earlier than I would have been a little child, and if
Tom
I did
Cruise
see it, like,
wasn't a real bartender, right?
Yeah.
These people know that.
no, yeah, he's also not a real pilot, but.
He's barely an actor.
I remember laying there.
Really, all he's good is yelling.
Right.
His movies.
Apparently, it wasn't on HBO as a kid because I remember my dad having cable or whatever it was at the time, and
Risky Business was on a lot.
I'd fall asleep in the middle of the floor, and he'd be on his chair still, and then you'd wake up to like up all night, and you'd peeking with one eye, hoping your dad don't see you catching a nipple.
Dude, I just watched
I think he's going to penetrate Dad.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
2 movies
So I gotta
last
pee,
year
Dad.
From, they're not terribly old or anything, but I'd never seen them, and they're probably when I was just a little too young to be able to watch. But The Burbs with Tom
Right.
Hanks, and there were 2 Tom Hanks and fucking Money Pit.
Right?
I'd never seen
Shelley
either
Long.
of those movies, but I remember I watched The Burbs. I watched it like 6 times that week. I was like, this movie's the fucking shit.
It's great.
Do you
It's got
think our
great
kids right now
humor-
are sneaking
humor in it, like-
Netflix that they shouldn't be? You suppose
Oh,
like
oh,
our,
yeah.
our kids are watching The Dirt right now as we're not paying attention.
Dude,
or
I
something, you know, like,
walked in
could be.
on...
Did you see what Molly Crew did?
Well, that's
I
how you
walked
say
in on
that.
Savannah and Lily the other day watching some YouTube video of these chicks basically looking at pictures of other girls and just making fun of them,
Right.
Like saying everything.
Oh
And
my
I was
God.
like, "What are you? Turn this off! Like, if you can,
You got to
can't-
try and monitor the YouTube so
Oh my
hard as a
God.
kid. Cool, videos are 12 minutes long, so how do
Right.
you like?
right?
You don't let
And
your
you
kid
don't even
have
have to click play. If
30
they
minutes
just-
of TV
you can
time
sit
was
there
3
and keep
videos
going.
of whatever YouTube decided they should have watched,
Yep.
and they're hooked. They're like, if it's a Play-Doh video to start, all of a sudden it's into JoJo Siwa and her bows and some other
Yep.
stupid fucking YouTuber.
Or
that-
some YouTube family chasing an imaginary bandit for 12 years all over the country.
But see, that's just it, though. You start watching it, you're like, why would you watch this shit? And then 2 hours later, you're like, why am I still watching this shit?
Exactly.
You know,
the
but
rabbit hole,
but
you
that's how behind the times we are while we're sitting here podcasting. We should be YouTubing, I guess. I don't
Right.
know. That's a.
Something, yeah.
You know what? I'm
We got a
gonna be
green
honest, I
screen.
watch
We
way
could be
more
flying
YouTube
through
than I do
space right
regular
now.
TV.
Me too.
Yeah.
YouTube's
I
my
did
go-to.
I went down some deep rabbit holes
Yeah.
and started scaring myself. Though.
Right.
Like looking up conspiracy theory
Sure.
shit and
Oh.
like stuff.
My
about
favorite thing when
aliens
I'm
and,
trying
like,
to fall asleep
there was
is,
times where I couldn't even like go to sleep without being like something. ain't
dude,
right.
my favorite thing when I'm
Water
like,
tastes a little
if
different
it's
today.
3 in the morning and I can't fall asleep, I'm going straight to the Anunnaki and the fucking
Oh,
pyramids
man.
or some shit.
Right.
Like just to go deep, crazy enough to like.
Something to stimulate your mind enough to maybe shut it down.
And sometimes you'll get like those lectures where they're like a couple hours long, but you really want to listen, and you'll get a ways in, and the monotone dude talking, and all of a
Talking
sudden,
right to
boom,
sleep.
you're out. But
Yeah.
I love listening. You never know
Yeah,
the
other times
possibility.
it's
We don't have a
7:30 in the morning.
clue, dude. It's like
Oh man.
we love to say, I mean, I know there's a ton of conspiracy theories that have been disproven and different things like that, and like I'm not saying I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I like to listen to them.
Sure.
Oh, me too.
I like to hear how
Well, it's just
fucking
another way
crazy
to
this
think
guy
about
thinks,
it.
and then I like.
Well, I like to
they're
hear.
fun.
I like to hear the shit that you don't get to hear about unless you try to go.
You go find it.
you
Where
know,
else would
like-
you hear about it?
I'm,
right?
I'm more
Like
into
you
like
hear about something that, like you're saying, you're not gonna just see it. They're not gonna let you just see it. Like you're gonna have to go dig for it. Like,
Right.
That's what I got into, and I shit you not. Like there was like 3 days where I was scared.
And see, here's the
Something
beauty
that-
of that, too, Noah,
Something
is
had
that
happened, and I'd be like,
You
"What
searched
the
for something
fuck?"
and you found it and you watched it for 12 minutes and now it's over and down below or whatever they're playing
17
next,
more videos
you're
to
like,
go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or
You
it's
want to
something
go
new,
deeper?
right?
Exactly.
You want
We
to
got
go
more.
deeper?
That's what
We
I
got
mean,
more.
Like,
How fucking
deeper
crazy you
and
want to get
deeper.
tonight, Noah?
Deeper.
Because if YouTube could talk, dude.
I swear
like-
to God, yeah, that's exactly what it sounds
Hey
like.
Noah, you watching
Right.
hot blondes on
Yeah.
YouTube?
It's like Richard Pryor's
Watch
whole
him
bit
jump
with
off a cliff.
The crack
Yeah.
cocaine talking to him. It's like, man, fuck those people. They don't know me and you, Rich. They don't know about us. It's me and you. We're ride or die. That's how YouTube kind of is. It's
You talking
keep
about the
rolling.
pyramids, Noah? How about Atlantis? What do you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Did
Come-
you know
come
that
a little
they
deeper,
found
Noah.
a city
Yeah.
under the sea where Atlantis supposedly was?
I
Pretty
love
sure I
ancient
saw it.
history.
Do you
I don't
wanna go a
like.
little
I mean,
deeper?
ancient, like
Sure.
even history that we don't, because we don't got a clue. We're such a race of amnesia. Like you don't
dude.
even know what. Like our grandparents 100 years
Especially
ago.
now.
I don't know much of the. I mean, other than they drove their
After-
fucking whatever to the store and back.
Sure.
I don't know a lot about them.
Right.
After watching that podcast about the flood, and like they've got enough evidence, pretty much that here before too long they're not going to be able to say it's not.
Oh, that
true.
Randall Carlson,
Yeah.
Graham Hancock
Anyway,
one.
but
Have you
when
listened to that one?
I haven't seen that.
When I watched
Oh, you're missing
that
out on
one,
life.
Really?
like I was scared about the Anunnaki and being a slave to some fucking alien, but after I watched that,
I'll
laid a
send you
lot
the
of that
link
shit
right
to
now.
rest, and I was fine. I was like, okay, but like, I totally think like aliens are real. There's definitely something out there, but humans were so more advanced than we could ever even imagine to give them credit for
Sure.
before these cataclysmic events have happened over fucking time since Earth has been a planet. You know,
There's
like.
so much you can't explain.
I mean, Jesus Christ, they found a fucking hammer, a steel hammer in a rock down in Texas. Like, the rock had grown around it. And they tested the steel in that fucking head of that hammer. It's 40 million years old.
The one that blows me away. The
A
biggest,
hammer.
Right.
The biggest, allegedly. No,
I
the
mean,
biggest thing that blows
yeah,
me away.
Supposedly.
Everything's with a
The
grain of
biggest thing that
salt.
blows me away is like the pyramids that are built as dead on could ever. Like we'd have a lot of trouble trying to build it today.
Right.
It
We couldn't build the pyramids today
No,
like
I
they
mean,
did
like-
back then.
Sure.
It's been
there might
proven.
be.
We couldn't fucking
you,
do it.
if you put fucking Elon Musk on it, we might get it done. But
Maybe.
maybe, yeah, that's what I mean. But it's so fucking pinpoint and dead on, and we
Right.
still. The big thing that drives me nuts is that we still don't have a clue what the hell it was for.
Sure.
They say like a tomb, or they say this, and
Power
but we got no
plants,
clue.
like,
We got
there's
nothing. I
tons of
know.
theories.
Why are the
That
same
one guy, like, he fucking was, I think he was dead on with power plants. Like, every pyramid all over the world is built over, like an aquifer,
Okay.
underground river systems. And,
Maybe it was just a pump for their crops.
I mean, it could have
Yeah.
been that.
Maybe
too.
maybe they're so precise that they ran a
It could have
piston
been
that we
that too,
that
man.
Right.
eroded by now, or
I mean, but what's weird about
who knows?
them
We don't. I
is-
mean, we don't know.
Sure.
I don't know, like.
It does kind of
That
freak
one
me
guy,
out though. That like
not-
what happened back
Not
then.
Tesla, but a guy around that same time thought he had a theory that they produce their own energy, and he was able to like go up with some sort of experiment right on the top of it, supposedly.
Sure.
And just create a spark with these two fucking inductors, and like the locals, his guides thought he was like a witch doctor, and fucking that was the end of his research, but.
I'm gonna freak you out with that one that I just sent you. It's if anybody else out there that is listening, and you haven't listened to Joe Rogan with Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson, and you live in Malta, he actually talks about things that like the way the brakes are made, and in Montana and out, especially over on your side of the state where you came from,
Sure.
of how much
Missoula?
water came through there, and like Lake Missoula when the
Right.
waterfall was the world's
The
largest
under-
waterfall,
yeah.
Right.
But they're like, no, we're thinking small scale. It wasn't just like a little lake that busted over this. We're talking like a mile deep of water.
Sure.
When a asteroid hit the ice caps, or they melted somehow fast,
Like
rapidly,
almost simultaneously.
Right.
at
and
12,000
just
years ago,
fucking-
and just wiped the damn Earth out.
Sure.
Well, geez, you know, like all the
Which-
in that, if you watch that, it's mind blowing. There's a few parts where I was just.
I can't quote it because they're way smarter than me, but I'm
me
telling
too,
you.
but the part where they talk about the mammoths,
Right.
and how they think hunter gatherers hunted them to extinction in a matter of like 10, 12 years or whatever they say. I don't buy that.
They're like, there's no way.
But like, how in like those massive burial grounds?
It was all
mammoths-
they said the mammals, all like
yeah,
it was
like
a-
mammal. Like they said, like 75% of mammals within 24 hours on North America was wiped out. But the one, like all the big mammoth burial grounds, one of the things they won't tell you is like how all of their legs at like a certain height are just fucking snapped in half from whatever
Really?
it was that hit
Whatever
the
ran
earth.
into
Just
them.
Whatever it was
mowed
that
'em
hit
out.
the earth, like the impact from it just
So,
broke their
it-
legs.
It sounds like you guys maybe are. I mean, you're definitely in. Not counting conspiracy theorists, but there's some interesting things going on there. Do you have a hard time turning that shit off and getting through daily life?
no,
no,
Okay.
no.
fuck no, no. That's like an,
That's just when you're going deep
I will
dive.
say when
Like-
I did watch that one, like there was a few days afterwards where I was like, knowing these facts, like
Right.
there's facts in this
No,
podcast,
I like
knowing
podcasts
that
and-
shit, kind of for a few days, kind of like was in the back of my mind. But fuck, if that shit were to happen again, there's nothing we could do about
They
it.
can't
I'm not
stop
so
it.
much a conspiracy theorist about any. I like like I said, I like listening to conspiracy.
interesting.
I don't
Nothing
think
wrong with listening to
Bigfoot
other
ain't
people's
running around.
opinions.
Like for me, I don't know. For some reason, I've always liked the shows of like the aliens or whatever.
Sure.
But the more real side of ones, I want more of the truth or the we can't disprove it type of thing. I don't want something that's so far fetched that.
Well, you remember that
Yeah.
that Fox did that mermaid thing a couple of years ago? You
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
That was just complete. And there was a tons of people out there, though, that were like, that's fucking shit is real.
Oh, yeah,
here's-
they
here-
did like 3 or 4 of those shows. They did
Right.
the one about like the little cannibal people
Right.
over in the Philippines, and then the mermaids, and then they did the
People eat shit out.
megalodon.
Yeah,
with
right.
the fucking,
Yeah, and see, I don't.
People
Most of
were
those are
buying
so
that,
far fetched.
like,
I don't even.
Right. I mean, you can watch that and you can be into it 10 minutes and be
Every
like,
single
this is
part
just
of it was
entertainment.
computer
bullshit.
animated.
Yeah.
But people are buying it, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Speaking of one of the best series, have you ever watched Cosmos
No, I don't think so. Who broadcast that?
with Neil deGrasse Tyson? They had one. Well, it was an old Carl Sagan show back in
Oh, okay.
way back in the day, and then Neil deGrasse Tyson brought it back for one
He's an
year or
interesting guy,
whatever
for
for a series. And recently, Neil deGrasse Tyson has sexual charges
Right.
again.
I
For,
think he's been cleared of them recently.
for next to nothing though. But
Sure.
even though he's been cleared, they postponed Cosmos. They were supposed to come back for a second season, and it's literally one of the greatest things on TV as far as just a
Just a
quantum
little bit of
physicist talking on
knowledge
TV.
about out
Actually,
there.
that's what should be on TV. Dropping
Yeah.
real live scientist
Sure.
knowledge.
See, but I think-
Kids should aspire to be a scientist instead of watching Kim Kardashian.
Oh my
Depends how you deliver that, though, because I can watch Neil. I've never watched him on anything except for Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends on
Oh, yeah.
how you deliver that kind of information. You know what I mean?
It's a cool show.
He's better on Cosmos than he was on
full
Rogan.
of fucking
Right.
cool shit.
Just, I mean, like I said, the whole science theory and stuff. Even just put that, like the Bill Nye the Science Guy and the stuff that you used to have on, as opposed to crazy ass reality stuff that some people watch now.
Sure.
I'd rather see him drop knowledge. But anyway, that's what we were talking about. That double standard. He fucking invites a woman over for dinner and
we got Cardi B up here on
offers a back rub and
right.
my point, how does a guy hit on a woman anymore?
Right.
How do you do it the way that I
What about
had to do
it-
it to court my significant other? I mean, like you
He's
did.
an American, but he's an Indian comic. Azir, do you know what I'm talking about? He's
Yeah.
got.
Ansari.
He
Aziz
talked about
Ansari
getting
or
a bad blowjob,
Yeah.
and I mean his career's over
Boom.
too.
Yeah, and they'll end the men's career.
Yeah.
Cardi B says she's taking people back to hose them and
Yeah,
drug
she
them,
said she
drug them,
drugged
steal their
Brandon
money.
and
She's
rob
like, you
them
don't know
while
how
she was a
hard it
stripper."
was. I'm gonna drug them and rob them.
Yeah, regardless of how hard it was, that's illegal. It's against the law. That's a
if your
crime.
career don't, it's like you said, terrible double standard. That man, oh man, that's
So,
sad.
but in 20 years, are we going to be bringing her up on charges like Bill
Oh
Cosby?
man,
20
I
years
mean,
ago?
is it gonna
Yeah,
keep
I don't
going?
know.
Is
I
it
doubt it.
to
Probably
me?
not. Because of her sex,
I
probably,
I definitely think that's wrong.
right?
Do I think? And I guess I see where a girl might feel uncomfortable or something. But like, if he went to try and just give her a back rub, thinking things were going good, what's your first step?
Right.
You used to like at the movie. What if I was sitting in the movie with a girl in 5th or 6th grade, whatever, and you slowly inch your hand over like you're going to hold her hand
Sure.
for the first time? Is that inappropriate if she didn't want it? Like, you don't know until you actually lean in for that first kiss or that.
Right.
That's how courtship works.
And that's how you ruin courtship is by saying, "Hey, can I hold your hand?
You
Can I
can't-
kiss you?"
Yeah, no
yeah,
shit.
you can't go. Hey, is it okay if I kiss you? That
Right.
ain't no. She wants
That
it.
ain't smooth, man.
Not at
No,
all. Yeah,
not
not
at
at all.
And some
God-
girls are aggressive. And they say, "Nah, you need to start popping the pussy right now. Let's go."
God
Let's get it
forbid
going."
you were both out at the county fair and had 3 too many fucking drinks and you got the wrong vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
What happens now? I mean, like, it's a weird world we live in now, and I'm happy that I'm happy now and don't have to
We've all
fucking
got
deal with that
daughters, though,
shit.
right?
But oh yeah,
So I mean, it's for us to sit here and say that no girl has ever been.
no, I get that.
You know what I mean? That's
I
not
get
true
that.
either. But
But if you're drugging and raping a dude to steal his money, that's his.
just as bad.
He's, yeah, you don't got to.
Yeah.
If you're drugged, I mean, I get.
So do you think
I
maybe
get the
there's a difference in
intimidation.
people's minds because she's not?
Well, I get the
So
intimidation.
she's taking their money. She's not taking liberties with their bodies. Is there a difference there?
Probably, but they. It's. I mean,
Right. Wrong is wrong.
she
I hear you.
tricked him into bringing him over to thinking they were getting, allegedly thinking they're getting sex. You know.
That's why I would have gone.
Well, I mean, who?
Yeah.
You thought that you were sealing the deal, but like I said, what happened? So if you go over there and you thought you were getting sex and you just start a back rub and she didn't want it, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
And you
yeah.
say, "Man, I wish this could go further." You know, you're rubbing like you're a drunk guy or whoever he was.
Sure. So does it
Or a
move to a
drug-
place in 20 years where all we do, because a lot of how we interact with people now is on the phone.
Because now it's text.
Exactly.
Hey, we
So now is it? I mean, do we seal the deal before we even know each other in person?
2 minutes before you're taking your pants
Right.
off in the bedroom, you're going to
It's like, well, you're coming through the door. And we know what you're doing.
eggplant, water splash.
I'm about to drop a bomb.
I mean, what do you do?
Face.
It's
Yeah.
weird to me because, I mean, I've been in relationship for a long time now, and I can't imagine. It's not so much here in this little town, but a courtship in a. How
Sure.
far is crossing the line? And not even trying to be a dick. I mean, like, how many times has a guy been in the bar or something, or like, even me before, me and my girlfriend, that I walked up and like, grabbed her butt and we're doing a shot together or something.
Right.
What if she didn't want that and you didn't like you thought? One
Well,
way or
flip
other?
the script too, though. So I'm in the bar, and some girl comes up and grabs my ass. I'm
You
not gonna
can't do
complain
shit
about it. Because I
Well,
don't
no,
want to.
I know, but you're a man, and that's.
Right.
But the difference is they found an angle.
Who's they though?
It's a widespread who
Sure.
they. I'm not saying it's a gender or a person. I mean, there's men on that side, there's women on that
Right.
side. But found an angle to take advantage of other people, of something. And sure, I get it if somebody came up and rape kissed you. It might be wrong, but like,
Still,
what,
as a man, though, I'm
how
not-
do you?
I'm
How do you?
probably not
That's
gonna
such a
yeah.
blurry line of how do you say, I was just trying to hit on her.
Right.
Or I was, like you said, you can't go, hey, is it okay if later we go to an after party and maybe I lay a smooch on your lips?
That kills your game.
You're done. You ain't-
You're dead.
A guy like Shane stepped in and,
Yeah, right.
He's
He's like, come on.
You just only
This guy's
go
never
for
taking a shit on the
snacks.
top of a toilet. Let's get out.
yeah, no,
That's
yeah,
the
exactly.
key.
You want to see shit on top of toilet?
I'm going to show you a shit on the
Yeah.
top of the
No, it's a weird thing to me. I don't,
So what has been the response since Cardi B, since that's come
I don't
out?
know. All I know is I work from home and all I see is some internet things.
Right.
It just fired me up a bit when I just listened to the thing about Neil deGrasse Tyson
Uh-huh.
trying to, and I don't know the full story by any
Sure.
means. So this is like, I've just
think it's
seen,
been
I've seen quite a few guys. Yeah, but they still canceled his fucking TV show that was
True.
going to make him a
Right.
pile of money.
Right.
So how much money did he lose? But you see so many times of a like I said, it's such a blurry line.
Yeah.
What'd you do? You know, like,
Well, men and big pigs for thousands of fucking years too.
Get it? I
And
get it,
shit's
I get
catching
it.
up to us a little bit.
so now all of a sudden what's going to happen? I mean, how?
yeah, I don't know. I
It's a
think
weird thing.
Maybe at some point we come to the point where we don't even interact for real anymore. And
You're
it's
probably
all,
right.
you
yeah.
know,
Put on some VR goggles
See that
and
coming.
yeah.
you're a piece of what's hooked to your phone, right? Is that, and like,
As I'm taking video of you
All
being
right.
hooked to my phone.
yeah.
Say hello to
What
a
up?
friend in Los Angeles.
It's always my worst
LA.
problem is I never take enough pictures in here, and then I go to edit it, and I'm like, we got 3 pictures of John's dog and one of the fucking. What are we putting up for the podcast video today? Go back. Noah will be like, oh, you got one on your phone of me. Yeah, from in your Nacho Libre suit or
Yeah,
something.
that's the best picture of me out on the web.
I'm terrible at that. Like,
Should be the only picture of you on the web,
It's
right?
the best fucking Halloween ever.
the best Halloween ever.
As far as my costume goes. Fuck, that was a good one. Nobody knew who I was. It pissed me off. I was like,
Wasn't a
really?
very popular movie.
I know. If you're a good dude, you know it. Though.
That's true.
Still haven't seen it.
What?
Yep.
Shut up.
Ruh-roh.
Come
I
on.
don't think I've watched the full thing.
What?
Nope.
Watch it.
I'm gonna have to. I watched Surf's Up the other day. You mentioned that on the last podcast that we
Great or
watched.
what?
It was good. It was really
Awesome
good.
movie.
We got-
Is that an animated movie?
We
What
bought,
Surf's Up?
we
Okay.
bought Surf's Up
About the
2.
penguins. I don't
Right.
like that
Oh,
one.
okay.
Well,
sure.
no, we bought that one first before. I was looking for it in the movie bin at Walmart or whatever, and I was like, well, there's Surf's Up 2. We'll get that, and the kids can watch it on the way home. So they did, and all I did was listen to it. I couldn't see what it was, and that one's like WWE Superstars or whatever with
Okay.
Yeah.
Undertaker's in there. And then I got home and I found Surf's Up on one of the things and watched it.
No,
I was
I
like, it's
love that
pretty
movie.
fucking good, pretty
It's a
good.
good one. What's his name? The dude is one of the characters. Fucking, what's that actor's name?
The dude?
Yeah.
Jeff Lebowski? I mean, Jeff Bridges?
Yeah, Jeff Bridges. Like Shia LaBeouf or whatever how you say his name. He's the main-
Shia?
LaBeouf.
Yeah, how,
That guy's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, but that's.
I don't know, I've never met him.
There's some
Yeah.
good humor in that show.
I'm sure he's a weirdo.
have you seen the new, this is what I've been on to lately in YouTube land.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even just in the last couple of days, I found a few. But they're these primitive living guys that'll go out and like they'll find a piece of dirt made out of clay or whatever, and they got like one tool or so it says, but also an HD camera somehow that edits to YouTube. But they'll dig these primitive houses, and they're just spectacular. And they edit them down into like a 15-minute video of what. If it
Yeah.
was me, it'd take me 3 fucking
Sneak
years
up
to do
there.
it. But and then
Yeah,
they.
it seems like
oh
that's-
man, is it cool?
So
like
have you ever seen the
care.
Alaskan Bush people on Discovery Channel?
Yeah.
The
a
Brown
little
family?
bit. No, not much. I don't.
Wow. I mean, that show's a fucking train wreck. And reality TV is definitely not real.
No, not at all. I've had. This is
No,
back.
everything's fucking totally
all scripted.
scripted.
Scripted as shit.
It might start out
Right.
like that, but then as soon as
Genuine.
people start liking it, they just change.
We got to ramp it
everything.
up, yeah.
No, I mean, you write shows. You have show writers, no matter what the fucking show is.
Sure.
It isn't it? I mean, even on like the Big Brother, they'd be like, "We're gonna pair so and so today on the boat,"
That's true.
and then they're like, or you know,
It's still entertaining, I guess. I can't stop watching
for
this
certain people, I
shit.
haven't had cable or any of those since
No,
2010.
What subscriptions are you rocking right now? What do you pay for right now?
Netflix, Hulu, and
Amazon Prime.
yeah, no, I just got Prime shipping, whatever. I don't do
You
the
don't have
video. I do, or I use iTunes, Vudu. I buy a few off of Vudu if I have to, and I got some pretty decent skills on the computer.
You know some Cody or something? What about you know? What do you pay for?
Just Voodoo.
I pay for
Hulu.
CBS
I
I got
Sports.
Sports.
Hulu,
Voodoo.
Hulu Live, I guess, so I get like 60 channels. Or
Yeah, I
whatever.
pay
But
for-
like I said earlier, all I watch is sports and the movies.
I pay for
Sure.
YouTube Premium so I can close YouTube in my browser and put it in my
Let's keep
pocket
it
and still
going.
fucking listen to it.
For music or for podcasts?
For almost anything, if it's a movie, a TED Talk, or whatever,
Right.
I take YouTube and I like it's.
You can't use it
That's
forever.
more expensive than Netflix. It's like $13
Yeah.
a month, but worth it to me. Because there's so many times you'll be watching a YouTube video and you still want to listen to it and you just click it off, throw it in
And
your
it
pocket,
turns off.
or the Lions or what. Like I'll watch, dude, whatever. I mean,
Sure.
YouTube's probably one of my most
See,
used
I
apps.
pay for Spotify, but maybe YouTube's probably you get everything you can from.
You're making me think. I've been paying for CBS Sports since the NFL season ended, and I
Right.
haven't fucking used it at
Right.
all since then. $5.99 a month. Every time it dings on my phone, you just gave five. You're like, God damn it, I didn't cancel it.
I'm
And
still
it's one of
paying
those
for the NBA
websites that's a
ticket, the
cocksucker
Lakers
to
are
get
the
through. You can't
shit.
do it on mobile. You got to
Right.
pull it up on
Yes,
here, and
right.
God, the Lakers.
those sons of
I've been a
bitches. I
Lakers
don't-
fan ever since I could remember. I loved Kobe when I was a little bit.
Sure.
I'm still a Lakers fan, but the Trailblazers, fuck, I love watching the Trailblazers.
I might get to watch them play.
Clyde the Glide back in the day.
Couple weeks, I might get to see them play. But
I
so the
wanna-
Lakers, I go pay for the NBA pass, and they're
You a Lakers fan? Is that?
Yeah, for a long time.
I've been a Bulls fan ever since little guy. You
It's
know,
hard not to be a
yeah,
Bulls
when I was
fan.
that
When
age.
the Lakers weren't winning.
That was
You're
one.
rooting
That
for
was what
Michael
I
Jordan.
used to actually watch basketball instead of football back in the day when Jordan was around. That was the
Oh, man,
shit.
like-
It was
I don't think
must-see
Jordan-
TV. It was
Kobe
must-see.
was my Jordan. Like,
Sure.
I remember growing up, Kobe was just tearing it
See,
up.
but there was. I don't
I
wanna shit on
punched the
Jordan's
biggest kid in
legacy, but
school.
Seems like there was better players playing around Kobe, but maybe not. The game had changed.
I swung at the
I
biggest kid
will
in
say
school.
though, Kobe won 2 titles with fucking who did he have? Pau Gasol.
Pau was
The
about
other
it.
guy
Lamar
you could
Odom.
say that, yeah,
True.
those guys weren't
Shannon Brown.
superstars. You know, they were just good
For sure.
That's how fucking good Kobe was. Like,
Yeah.
Back
But
in
who
the
was
anyone-
Jordan playing with?
Fuck,
Scotty?
Scotty Pippen.
That's about it.
fucking-
Rodman,
Yeah, Dennis Rodman.
I mean,
couple
or
best
Rod
fucking
Kerr, or
rebounders in the year.
B.J. Armstrong.
but
Nobody's.
he's-
But
I mean, I
can
agree
match
with
you up
there,
Lakers
too,
for-
though.
for
we were
Bulls
fifth
on
grade
those, you know.
basketball
That's
one
why
time. We're
everyone
going in the
can
locker
argue
room,
about
and,
that
and one of my
today,
buddies, goes, Jordan looks like a fag with his earring in. And he wasn't a buddy at that point, I guess, whatever. He was the biggest kid in school, too, and I snapped. I fought for Jordan's honor.
There you go.
You threw hands for
We
Jordan?
ended up going to the ground, and
You tossed ends.
our coach
Dang.
came in
Oh,
and
that was
separated
serious
us.
shit, man.
I would have got my
Wow.
ass kicked. I feel like Jordan owes me an autograph for that. I'm living in northern white Montana,
Right.
and the biggest bully. Well, he was the athlete of the team at that time too.
Sure.
And I just remember he was just like, I knew it was probably whatever. He was trying to, one way he knew he'd fuck with me. I was like, I think it was probably
That was
fifth
your
grade
trigger.
basketball.
He knew that was your trigger.
Had to be. He's like, Jordan
Love
looks like
Jordan.
Jordan. I just,
Let's go to the mat for Jordan.
let's do it, Jordan.
Yeah, he was
No, I like
incredible
to watch the Trailblazers because both their best players came from fucking small schools.
Okay.
Like Damian Lillard played in the same Big Sky Conference as the Grizz.
Oh, for real? Where did he play at?
Weber
Weber?
State.
He played at Weber State?
CJ McCollum played for Lehigh. And they're
Wow,
like-
that's even
they're like
smaller
a
than
fuck-
Weber.
Yeah, they're like a wrestling powerhouse back in the day. That's like all they're known for. But
Sure.
No, yeah, they're fucking ballers in the NBA. I think that's badass. Came from small schools, got overlooked, and now they're balling out.
behind that.
Plus, they're pretty close to go watch them.
Sure.
Pretty good team.
And not nearly as expensive as a Laker team.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
imagine.
My brother, when he was living over there, he said he could have got 2 tickets, pretty good seats for like 40 some bucks each.
Wow. Well, my sister works on the top floor at Nike in Portland. So
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
she gets all kinds of hookups. Looking
I've
forward
never
to
been
that.
over there, and I'd like to. I think
I thought it
Portland would
was
probably
cool,
be fairly
like-
cool.
Washington
like-
and Oregon were the only states I've ever been to where I was like, I could live here.
I'd
Similar
like-
to Montana.
I'd like
Just
to
a
go.
little bit
Yeah,
out
I'd like to
little
go
bit
find some
different.
smaller
Yeah.
towns there. Maybe like I think Portland would be cool, but it's still I'd rather almost find
Oh,
a
That's
little.
the beauty of living
smaller.
by a big city like that is
Yeah.
there's suburbs everywhere.
Yeah.
I said that, like, if I moved there, I'd go over by, like, the coast. There were some fucking sweet
Find some random
towns.
little
Yeah.
beach
Oh,
town
and
there.
Right.
the land was so cheap.
Right?
Like, I remember talking to a few guys. This one guy, he bought, like, 4 lots with 3 different cabins for, like, $22,000. Right on the coast. Like, you turn that way and you're in the mountains, and you look there, and there's the coast. I was like, that is so fucking
That's
sweet.
insane. That's not very much
I don't know.
money.
There probably wasn't power to them or anything
Right.
like that.
Plumbing
but
and
still,
shit.
I was like, that's fucking unbelievable.
Power. Who needs power? Fuck that. I'll charge my
Yeah,
phone.
Go dig
Stick
one of those
over
huts
there.
like I'm
That's
talking
right,
about. That
right.
guy, man.
Get on YouTube. Make a primitive iPhone charger.
That's something I could
Go
see.
fuck yourself.
I could see Noah out there digging with. I'm only going to use a shoulder blade of a cow today.
I don't know. I'm
I'm going to dig with my own shin bone
Just
today.
digging like a fucking madman.
I get bored. I get bored after a day. And
Wait, I-
fuck this.
Right.
I'd get a hole the size of this bar that we're sitting in front of and be like, fuck it.
Right.
3 years later,
gonna
come
lay
back,
down and
I'm
die
gonna
in
finish
this
that
thing.
someday.
I've dug a fucking hole, and that shit ain't easy.
I tear the lawnmower halfway apart, and I'm like, I'll get it next year.
Right.
Maybe the grass will stop growing.
Just start killing it.
I got like 7
Start putting
fucking
tarps
motorcycles in
over
here.
it
I'm
certain days of the
working
week.
on.
Tarping it off so you kill it.
Yeah.
This is suffocate this shit.
I remember when I first moved to Arizona, the first stop we stopped at was an old car salesman buddy of my dad's that used to sell cars here at Delta Ford with him on the. We're in Ray J's old building. There were 2 dudes that sold cars out of that
Right.
one building. They were remote. And anyway, first guy's house we stop at is his house down there, and we walk into his yard. It's in Sun City, and he's got his whole yard's graveled, but it's raked. It's like he went through with one of those big fucking lawn rakes and put ridges all. I mean, it looks
Huh.
sweet as shit. Like you'd feel bad if you walk through it.
Right.
But I was like, you don't have to fucking mow.
Don't got to water either.
That's all. You don't have to mow. You don't have to. He's like, yeah, I get a golf more that way. He said. I was like, That's
Oh, shit.
awesome. That was
Yeah.
the first time I'd ever seen somebody with like just a rock lawn.
Sure.
You know, because I was a Montana boy. I never hardly left the
I
state,
think
but
Ken Ulrich used to, before he passed, I think he used to grow indigenous shit in his yard.
Oh, really?
That you don't have to take care of. You just plant it, and then it does what it does because
Oh,
it's
nice.
indigenous to the area. I think
Brilliant.
that's the way to make a yard. You
yeah,
have
I
to
mean, you
irrigate it,
should.
right?
Yeah. It's weird how much water and shit we spend just to
Yeah.
make a nice lush that you could walk through in your
Oh,
bare
man.
feet or whatever.
Just to make a bunch of fucking more work for yourself.
Dude,
Dude,
but there's nothing nicer though when you walk out and you got a
It's
nice
true.
green lawn too.
Yeah.
The
Like if
past
you're having a
2
good day
years-
and you're out there just standing in your lawn, go fuck yeah, or
I
water
haven't
in your
even got my
lawn.
flip-flops
Oh, it's
on.
nice.
Yeah.
Barefooted.
It's nice. I love it. But
Uh-huh.
the past 2 years, I've fucking tilled by hand my yard
Really?
because my fucking dogs kill it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like-
With their piss?
Yeah, that
Or
I gotta
running.
Feed, I gotta feed.
Just
Yeah,
running
and my
or digging.
boxers, they'll just fucking run in
Right.
circles and just kill it. Like I don't even know this year.
When you got dogs,
like
you
you
almost
say,
like,
it's so much more work.
It's their
but-
yard.
if it yeah, I mean if you're putting them out in the yard and whatnot, but we do. Ours still turns out this will be the first summer with our newest puppy along, so we never had 2 dogs.
Well,
Right.
Our other dog's pretty like she loves to go lay out in the sun, just fucking yeah.
oh yeah.
This one likes to play a little bit. She's out there throwing a fucking rope 15 feet in the air by
To
herself.
herself, right.
Yeah. Well, shit, like this last year, I was really good. Like, fuck, if the dogs were in the front yard, I'd be pissed off. But then I went and bought the girls a big inflatable, like, slide with a pool. And it got to be too much every day. I'd fucking empty it and roll it up and get the tarp off it so it didn't kill it. After about 4 days, I was like, fuck.
First time I
Jesus
pulled up to your house and you guys had that, I was like, man, that's gonna be a lot of work.
Oh, man, it was.
You don't know how expensive that was.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, fuck. They get to the point, like, Kelsey go to fill it. I'd be like, don't fucking fill that thing anymore. Jesus Christ. We filled it 3 times this week. That's like 700 gallons of water we just dump out at the end of the day.
It
Like,
didn't matter 5 years ago. We never
oh,
paying for
man,
it.
exactly.
Jeez, I like long showers. That's gonna be one thing that like I can't cut out. I don't care what you say.
Oh,
I-
man.
yeah,
I'll have
Nothing's
to get
better
my
than
own-
sitting in a hot shower.
Yeah.
It's like-
I think you get enough gallons, your shower should be all right.
I think so. That's why I was like, if we go over, it's because you had an extra toilet or something running.
The
That like,
toilet's the one. That's
yeah,
what it
that
is.
runs all the time. Something
Right.
that you had to run all the time. It ain't. There's plenty of people that water their lawn way more than I do.
Sure.
I mean, I enjoy getting out there and actually watering my lawn and stuff, but there's times like you'll go a couple weeks and go, shit, lawn's getting dry.
Right.
I mean, you got kids, you're doing whatever and chasing everything throughout the summer. It's
Fuck, that just made me think too. Now I'm the manager of or the landlord of an apartment complex. I imagine all that fucking grass is probably on me now.
oh yeah, it's got to go. You that guy?
Yeah, we'll be putting in rocks real soon.
Or a fucking maintenance guy?
Right.
I don't know. That's
Yeah, it's more than I bargained for.
What, you manage
Yeah, I
those
was-
apartments
I was-
there on Central now? Or?
Right by the
Yeah.
newspaper.
I haven't been in those since like I was probably 21.
Everybody's been in them though. You guys have both been in
Oh
at
yeah,
least
I
one,
was,
right?
I was like 21 when I was in it. I think
My sister lived in the one John and Heather live in, right?
Okay, right next door to me. Those are old buildings too. That's like some of the oldest buildings in town, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'd like to know more of the Malta history, like the
For sure.
That's something like I really like to see is like, because when's the last time we built a big new building?
Yeah.
Lloyd's, but I mean that's just I guess
Well,
that'll be there
the
just
building
long.
that
But
his dad owned at one point. I was talking to somebody about that the other day, and I was like,
it was built when I was alive.
but how did that even?
Right?
The
Remember
people
that?
around the neighborhood thought, okay. I mean, I know your dad didn't build it; he bought it from somebody else.
Yeah,
It just
no.
seems like a really weird apartment complex where it's located.
Yeah.
The people in the Philippines are really digging what I'm talking about right now, for sure.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
No, because it's different world. Like I said, that
Sure.
they like listening to what the hell happens in this little tiny ass
shit,
town in the
that-
middle of Malta.
Right.
That store, Three Sisters or whatever it is
Uh-huh.
now, like fuck, that's one of the oldest buildings.
Yeah.
It was at one
of the
time it was
first
Rhoads
pictures of
West. My
Malta.
family owned it for a while.
That building is
Family
like
owned it
one of
for
the
a while.
main
Yeah.
ones in the corner there.
My family's
be
owned a bunch of the
150
local
years old.
businesses.
Right?
They had Rhoads West there. My grandma at one time had.
You guys had the Ezzy's building at some point.
Yeah, that was Roadside. They had what was Casuals Clothing is Family Matters.
Right?
My uncle had IGA. My dad had the bowling alley at one point.
Damn.
My dad owned Ideal Auto and the Honda shop. They've been around. They're always all of them have been entrepreneurs. I can't believe it took me till I was fucking 36 years old to finally
Yeah,
decide
you
to
always had that streak, though.
jump into it. I mean,
Sure.
I guess I would. I was doing it dabbling, but I never.
Sure. Not full force.
I didn't. Apparently, my balls didn't drop till later in life. I don't know.
Seems like that's how you prosper because your family too. I mean,
You gotta take some
Candy's owned
risk.
Tons of stuff.
Yeah.
She owned the Three Sisters at
Yep.
one point, right?
She's
She
one.
named the
Well,
Three
she
Sisters.
started at Three
Right,
Sisters.
she
Yeah,
named
her and her two sisters.
It's a cool ass old building. When I was a
is.
kid, I used to that ladder that's on the track. I used to
Right.
ride that ladder track like a
Yeah.
scooter and jump up. See how high I could crawl while I kept going.
When the people that owned the newspaper were the building that we used to be in came up for sale. They're like, well, maybe we look somewhere else. And they looked at that building. I was like, whoa, this would work. They wanted a little much for it.
I like cool old buildings.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even with, all the work that it would take, and like as a younger man, I was like, man, it'd be so cool to build your own cool shit. But now I go to like Butte, and you're like, I think Butte's a cool ass town.
It's
See all that
becoming so.
old shit?
It wasn't that way 20 years
No,
ago.
I know. And as a kid, like I said, we used to go to that wrestling tournament
Sure.
there, the McCarthy, and I thought it was a shithole then.
It was a shithole then.
And even like, Carol's brother was going to go play football there, and he was like, I don't like Butte. It's silly. Blah, blah. And as an older guy, I'm like, man, that building's got so much potential. That's some cool shit. That old theater there, or that, like,
Sure.
to me, that's neat.
And
I don't-
a lot of people are coming in and flipping that shit and making it work for them.
I suppose they are now, yeah.
They are
And
now, for sure.
it was like, I mean, how do you let something sit? Like you said, the Three Sisters building, there's an apartment above that. When have they ever
Yeah.
used that?
It's all the way tricked out.
There's a
too.
couple buildings in Malta like that you're like, damn, that's nice in there, and you never knew it.
Sure. And then there's some other buildings around town that you're like, well, that's a piece of shit, but tons of potential.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
And
are
this
for
is just a
sale.
little tiny town, and there's one of those in every
Yeah.
single town around here. And but like you said, the history still only goes back 100, 200 years,
Yeah.
if not even that. 100 years is
100 years
a
about.
big time
Sure.
gap for a lot of things. But you go down south, and then you're hitting like 1700s or
Yeah.
a little bit earlier. Like you go to New Orleans and shit. There's some cool stuff there. It's weird to me that, and then like you said, if you go across the United States, how come there's so much more older shit over there than over here, and it's still only, not that old that you can look back to.
250 years, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, Phillips County just celebrated its 100th anniversary 3 years ago, maybe. And
the,
maybe
the
there's,
fair, yeah,
and so maybe 50 years before that, people were homesteading there.
yeah. Well, do you look at the pictures of like the 1900s here? There was a bigger Front Street then than we have now.
Yeah.
And there's a few pictures in the old buildings and shit, and like there was more people around then.
Yeah.
I mean,
More
it-
industry, I guess.
Yeah, I mean I guess there was more
The railroad
local
was coming
industry.
from-
Yeah,
There was more people here when I was younger than there is
Yeah,
now.
and there is now.
It's just-
So I wonder where we're headed.
because then you had to have a local blacksmith to build your
Yeah.
trailer. You had to have this, that. Now
Car dealers
they've been manufactured in bigger cities and bigger whatever, and
and shipped in.
kind of weird. You think about
It's kind of scary. Where are we heading?
how long has the paper been around? Do you know?
Almost 100 years, and it's 97 years. It was used to be the Harlem Enterprise, and that's got about it became the Phillips County News through the Harlem Enterprise, but the Phillips County News is coming up on 100 years in 3 years, so 97 years old.
That's fucking crazy.
It is
that
crazy.
nuts.
I mean, I guess you always had to have the news,
Yeah,
but it's weird that used to be the only form of news for I mean,
sure.
that was your guy.
and
Like
it's weird
you,
that it's kind of still around because
Yeah.
newspapers are that's a dying.
it's cool that
industry.
you can still put it out once a week and
Sure.
still be around. That's
It's
fucking
because of
awesome to
the
me.
Community here is aged, sort of. And
Yeah.
But
even- yeah,
you got people coming back.
I
you
still
the
read
paper,
it,
yeah.
man. I still like to every week. I go, oh, what the
When
hell's
was
in
the
the
last time
paper
you saw your kid in the paper?
this week? Quite often.
Well, that's why.
I mean,
your
that's
kid's in the paper.
yeah. I mean,
That's
but
why you get
that's
to look at your paper.
you do. I mean, not only that, but you always are. I don't know. It's almost like a local tradition that you
Yeah,
Yeah.
pick it up and look at
You
it.
go-
Even though if it only
whip it out,
takes
you
you 3
run
minutes
through
to
it,
look
and
through
you
it.
yeah. Whether it's cool to me. I think it's
I think radio's going through the same thing because I haven't turned on the radio in a long time, right?
yeah. I mean,
Podcasts,
I easily
Streaming
will
systems.
upload this and touch more people than the local radio will.
right?
Which is, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't asked for hardly $1 in advertising
Sure.
of it at all.
Doing
I've had
it
a
'cause
couple
you
things,
like it.
but yeah, I enjoy doing it. I love sitting down with my buddies, and for one, I don't want to be own and feel bad about like, man, sorry Dwight at Joe's, I didn't mean to say this.
Right.
I mean, and we're buddies, that kind of thing. And not even that. I just thought that I'd grow it bigger first to get something that wasn't controlling, or like, hey, this episode brought to you by Platinum Vodka. We don't give a shit, or whatever it is,
Right.
instead of being like, I don't want to sit here and read off 30-second ads in the middle of it or anything like that.
Sure.
I mean, I
That's
wouldn't
not
mind
the
giving one at
model
the
either.
beginning or not. Yeah, no, I'd rather sit around with my buddies and tell some jokes and fart jokes and upper deckers and
On top
know,
of the
but to me,
I
that's
am gonna
really
go home and
entertainment.
shit on the top of my toilet tonight, just so you know.
Don't do it on your own. Go.
I got to clean it up. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want.
That's
to do,
weird, man.
Travis. I know it's weird. I'm
You
weird.
got to test it out first before you go do it in public.
Yeah.
You gotta have a plan.
You got to make sure.
So if you miss,
Time
do you
it,
do it
make sure.
again?
Just keep shitting all over my house.
Just make sure you got it right before you go.
I've got it perfected. We're going to the mint.
I'm gonna get Travis so good tonight.
Oh, I'll be so pissed. Mark comes to the mint the first time in forever. I know what you're up to.
Yeah, right. I've
Get
never
out.
seen you drinking in here before. You better get the fuck
Stay
out of here.
out of the girls' room again.
I'll practice though. Before I get there, I'll practice.
That's gross. I wonder, like,
You think?
I've heard some stories. My mom is bartending or waitress for years.
Sure.
I've heard crazy ass stories about
bet.
what came through there, and I've only had a few. I mean, I got some stories, but
So here's a story somebody told me recently, and it happened at the GN. That's where your mom
Yeah.
waitress is now. Fuck, who told me? Maybe it was. Well, we won't drop names, but somebody had robbed a bank, either Haver,
goddamn.
somewhere along the High Line. Somebody had robbed a bank, and they ended up in the GN, and they were getting drunk, and they're buying everybody dinner, and they just started passing out 50s. They're like, "Yeah, we just robbed a bank," and they're passing out 50s. So they were getting on the phone. Hey, there's a guy down here at the GN that's passing out 50s. Like 200 people came through the GN that night getting 50s. The guy got himself arrested.
crazy.
I
You
could
wonder
see
about
that.
some of the old like card games and shit that went
Sure.
down back in the day.
Well, there was brothels here.
Oh, it's yeah.
know?
Oh yeah. Well, that's another one of the businesses that some of my family own. They own Stein's nightclub out there.
Sure.
Where the antique shop is, and that was an old brothel above it.
Right. Okay.
But
fuck,
not
I-
when they owned it. They owned it as a
I know
night.
one of
They
my buddies,
resurrected it.
His
As a,
fucking grandpa won a fuckload of land in a card game.
Right.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Isn't it
About
crazy?
That shit.
I'd like to know
Change
more.
of fortunes and just
Yeah.
5 cards.
5 cards.
To me, that-
Boom, you got a bunch of land.
That
Right.
little bit of deeper history to me is so crazy.
Sure.
And you think back, like, give us 50 years, and our great grandkids are gonna be like, "Do you know these guys started this podcast in a garage of a,
Right.
you know, or whatever it is at that time?"
What's a garage?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that is in 100 years.
What is a head?
You mean
People had
they,
heads back then?
they didn't have holograms? What do you mean?
Right.
You
They actually
like,
just listen. You,
you
just
were in
listen.
person with him?
All you did was listen.
You sat in the same room? What the fuck was wrong with you people?
I don't get it.
I don't know. We were shitting on top
You
of toilets.
actually
It was
got
a
out of
weird
your
time.
bed. You didn't.
Right,
You
yeah.
didn't leave your bed
Right.
today. What the?
You took off your virtual reality goggles?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's
What
it
was
like out there?
Yeah. Must have been weird.
Fuck cold. What do you mean 40 below?
Right.
How did you make it back?
What is this thing you call weather?
Oh, that's.
That maybe in
It's weird to
100 years,
think. You never
Yeah.
know. I mean, we're moving rapidly.
Yeah.
Think about how far technology's coming. Just
I
the
got a
last 100
robot
years.
vacuum.
Yeah.
That's-
That's
100
10 years.
Yeah, just the last 10 years, 20
sure.
years.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
but-
sat as a kid and watched the Jetsons,
Yeah.
and I have a robot vacuum.
It's true.
No shit.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it.
She
We
doesn't
were-
talk to me or
we
clean
were
the
still
dishes,
fucking
but
horse-drawn
robot.
buggies, and then all of a sudden we're driving cars.
Right.
And now,
it starts up every other day and runs the house and
oh yeah, mine too.
Does its
goes
thing.
back to its deal, and you empty it, and you,
Yeah.
unless
maps
it
out
fucking
your
falls
house
off a
and-
little bit of a cliff, and that's my own fuck up for not setting up the little wall for it. But
Just,
Yeah.
I mean, as cool as the
crazy.
vacuum is, how come we don't have the rest of the cool shit? Why do we got, you know what I mean? Like, you watch Star Trek and all this neat shit came about.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's like, well, why can't we teleport? Why do we just have this?
The
Oh,
That's 'cause
government,
the government
man.
won't give it
that's
to
right.
us.
I'm going to go watch YouTube.
get that tinfoil hat on.
They're holding us back.
That's one
It could
thing-
be, I don't know.
That's one thing. I
Chemtrails
kinda-
and flat
Right.
Earth
Like,
and
seriously,
the
though,
radio
how-
towers.
How of everything out there are we the only planet that we're still fucking stuck here? Like,
Because you tell me this,
come on.
shit hits the fan, and
But are we stuck here? We just
Shit
sent
hits
shit
the
to Mars a
fan.
couple weeks ago, right?
Well, that's what I like.
That's what we're told. I don't know
I
if
mean,
that
we
actually
can
happened.
get there. But
Alright.
that's
We can't
just
do anything when we get there.
shit
we're
hits the
just-
fan, and you and Shane and Noah and I are the only ones left on the planet with our
Right.
families. Which one of you fuckers is starting up the electricity?
Right.
Who's getting the indoor plumbing? Who's? I mean, how many? As
I
a
think
little
we're
kid,
fucked.
well, as a little kid, we all grew up wondering like, man, I can't wait till I'm an adult, and then I got life figured out. Everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off.
Yeah.
Still, nobody knows what the hell. Some people are chasing money. Some people are chasing their dreams. Some people are
And
chasing
life only becomes easier with all this technology, but at the same time, it becomes
easier but harder at the
Yeah.
same. I mean, like you get, it can be annoying to sit at the dinner table without whipping your phone out or something. You know,
Yeah.
shit, how many likes I get or
Hey, send me a picture of yourself so I know what you look like. Oh, you're
Yeah.
sitting right fucking there.
what happened when you were a little kid and
Or yeah, what'd you have?
be home by the time the street lights come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my dad had like 4 houses he could call to find me, and if I wasn't at those 4 houses, he either
went
had to go
outside to
drive
find you.
around and look for you. Now you'd be like, "Yeah, Dad, I'm at Noah's," and he'd be like, "Send me a selfie and prove it."
Right.
With
Drop a pin
with a
somewhere.
newspaper with today's date on it,
Right.
and yeah.
What's a newspaper?
Yeah,
Shut up.
technology. It's definitely got tons of perks, but like fuck.
So I'm telling you, you need to
tell
start
my,
writing
I
some
tell
shit.
my kids to go to bed. They're like, "Can I just watch one video?" Or Lily, "Can I watch a show?" It's like, fuck. When I was little, if I got told to go to bed,
You didn't have a TV in
I
your
went to
bedroom,
bed.
probably.
And then you laid there and either giggled
I read
with
a
your brother
book
and
or
sister that was
fucking-
across the. You fucking
no
parents come
shit.
But
Yeah, no shit.
my kid's got a Bluetooth eye mask that he can lay there and listen to sleep music or whatever from, like just one. They're like $11 on
Sure.
Amazon, but you can Bluetooth it and lay there and listen to whatever the hell you want to go to sleep, or sleep music, or binary beats, or whatever the hell.
Death metal.
Stop listening to this.
Yeah.
Stop listening to your dad tonight.
Yeah, no kidding. No kids. You're not allowed to listen to the podcast. It's X-rated.
It's
It's under the comedy section. It's none of this means anything.
So how many episodes you got out?
This will be, I think, 53.
Okay.
We've been kind of slow lately. It's my fault. I've been so busy with my other businesses that I.
Oh, you're a fucking hustler.
By the time that I get done juggling kids to Boy Scouts and
everything.
I know I
Everything
should
in this
narrow
country.
something down. I really wish that I could focus
Well, why?
on one or two things.
Well, you like having your fingers in things. There's nothing wrong with that, I don't
I
think.
just feel like if I focused on one or the other would get so much bigger than
Sure.
dabbling in everything to keep. But then I enjoy that too, because like I might wake up tomorrow and not want to work on your fucking phone
Right.
and say I'm gonna
Build an ad.
do a car show poster and do a
Right.
whatever, or tomorrow I might wake up and want to work in the garage and finish my bench so that I can take better eBay pictures
Sure.
of whatever. And yeah, I don't know, it's a hustle, but I enjoy it.
As long as you're hustling, though. And then
Yeah,
you,
oh,
are,
yeah.
you always are. You've always got 10 different hustles going on. So
Fuck,
stop.
I'm sitting in the shower most of the time checking my email or like sending out email to a random entertainer of some sort, trying
Sure.
to make something work, or trying to I got a couple things in the pipe right now that are gonna be cool. And
Anything you're ready to announce tonight?
no, not quite.
Come on. Goddamn.
Kind of. I mean, not really. No.
Fuck.
Close. Talk to me next week.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to call her, boys.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
It's
fucking
you
beat.
put a good one in. 236.
236.
236
Appreciate
23.
you having me in.
Thanks for coming over, man.
Yep. Anytime you
Fucking
want,
about
just let me
time.
know.
We're on another one too now.
Yeah, it's good to get.
You're not a
back
virgin
on.
anymore.
Got my cherry popped.
Yeah, about time.
It's an upper decker.
was
That's gonna be the
glorious.
weirdest shit about. I'm gonna just have to name this episode Upper Decker. I don't-
And it's not even an upper decker.
and when you say that's the weirdest shit, it literally.
It is. It might be the weirdest shit I've
Yeah.
ever heard about in my life.
Sorry, Montarctica, we're dirty. All right, thanks, Mark. Thanks, Noah.
You
you.
bet. Thanks for
Thanks,
having me.
Shane. After you went to bed early, I hope Titus went to bed for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Larry.
Good night, everybody.
Night is.